Okay, thank you. I've just realised I had the mute button pressed. Let's see what it's like now. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, brilliant. This is Pap recovering. Yeah, this is Pap recovering still. So we're likely to get one or two things not right this evening, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Good evening to everyone. Hiya, Spence. Good to see you last night and today, for that matter. Natural born serial killer. How you doing? Good evening, Lisa. JD, let's give this fool a watch. Well, by all means, it's a public live stream. You're completely entitled to watch. Hiya, Scott. How you doing? It was okay, mate. It was okay. I had a good time. I was looking forward to live stream a bit last night, but we kind of got distracted and didn't get that done, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm still struggling. I do have hair of the dog here. I've got hair of the dog, and I've got one poured, but I've also got a coffee here that I'm finishing off first. Miss W, hello. Paul Essex, good evening. Peter Bishop, nice to see you. Roger, as always, a pleasure. Tiffany, I'd say hello to Tiffany, but she's sitting in the other room. So she's already had a hello today. Hi, Boo. Hello, Kaz. Chris John Wright. Hello. Al T. Fiery Blaze. Dr. Kerr. Bearded Vet. Medway. Good evening to you all. Thank you for jumping on this evening. Sean, Rob C. Who else have we missed? Kaylee. And I think that's nice guy. Sandy. Thank you very much, Sandy. I appreciate that. And I think we've covered Toria. I think we've covered everybody there. Yes, to all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day to you. I hope you managed to have a good day with your children, if you're able to. I haven't, obviously, as everybody knows. But, you know, such things in life happen. And there we go. I had a couple of hours. Spence, I did get a few hours this afternoon. I can't remember what time I got into bed. It was only about half an hour after you left. So it was about 2:30, wasn't it? So yeah, about 3:00. And my alarms went off at 7. So yeah, got 4 hours. Yeah, it's big birthday. It's a big birthday for you, Jack, isn't it? The 21s. Yeah, thank you, Scott. As I've said, you know, it's one of them things you never get over it, or you never get used to it. You just learn to have to deal with it. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll see my kids at some point. I already know that my youngest boy knows that he was fed a load of bullshit, because he's told me himself. But the whole being able to see them again is a bit of a nightmare for the distance. So once I move back down south, hopefully I'll be closer to be able to see him and build that relationship. And I'm sure as yours gets a bit older, Scott, I'm sure he'll come to his own conclusions, and you know, just like mine come to their own conclusions, and make up their own decisions. The thing is, the good thing is, if a kid is brought up properly, even if the resident parent is, you know, what's the word? Parental alienation. If the resident parent is alienating the other parent to the kids, if the kids are brought up properly, they will make a decision as they get older to want to find out themselves. So let's all keep our fingers crossed. Thank you, Michael, much appreciated. Thank you, Sean. Hiya, Nick. English for the English, good evening. Stuart B, hello. Joseph Benoit. Sean. Yes, so tonight my skin looks really greasy. You know when you've had when you've drunk loads and you get like what you call the beer sweats. I literally got out of bed tonight I've literally got out of bed about, I don't know, almost 7:30, thinking to myself, am I in a fit state to do a live stream or not? Should I do it a bit later or not? You know, but I've decided to jump on. It's not going to be a late one tonight. Hi, Brummy. And I want to forego the phone calls today, and we're going to do like we do on a members live, where we bring the panel in. Rather than the phone calls, because I'm really not in the best frame of mind to be doing phone calls tonight, and I don't want to do disjustice to people that phone in who need answers or want help or whatever it might be, because I think that's unfair. Anyone else hearing rumours of the internet going down tonight? I've not heard anything, England. Not heard anything at all. Hi, Rich. Nice to see you again. Hello, Paul. Hello, Kevin. Through my email, Kevin. policeabusingpowers@gmail.com is the best way to do it, mate. I look at that multiple times a day. Whereas some of the other methods of contacting me, I don't look at them as regularly because I've got so much other stuff going on, and I often forget to check. But email's the best one, mate. Oh dear. Brummy, hello. Thank you very much. I'm not doing bad. I'm not doing bad, Rich. Thank you for asking. Still got DJ Sonic's here. Tiffany's here. And yeah, they're watching. You see, because I've got my headphones on. I think they've only got one. Oh, there's Tiff. I think they've only got one pair of headphones. I think so. They're sitting in the other room so they can listen. Because while I've got these on, if they sit in here, they can't hear what's going on. And if they have the sound on, then it will come through the microphone and it will cause a loop and all sorts of stuff. So there he is. There he is. Hiya, Mickey. How you doing, mate? Thank you very much. Look at the state of him.
I'm still fucking recovering from last night, man. I'm fucking hanging.
Now, to be honest, Sean, it's more tiredness. I don't get hungover on brandy. I mean, yesterday I was drinking beer and brandy, but I was okay. But yeah, I don't get hungover on brandy. I just get tired. I mean, you can see from my eyes that look how puffy and baggy they are. He does, bearded vet, indeed he does. So what I'm going to do, because you don't want to sit here just listen to me rambling on about shit, and whilst I'm in this state, until I've had a couple more brandies and livened myself up a bit, while I'm in this tired state, I ramble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link out into the comments for the StreamYard so we can get some people on. If you've not been on before and you want to come on, by all means, I say this every week. Oh yes, and the shots, yeah, and the sambucas. Forgot about them. But I'm going to pop the link into the comments. If you want to come onto the stream, then by all means you can. If you haven't been on the stream, if you haven't been on the stream before, then I need to do some checks. Some people will come straight up because their StreamYard account is authenticated with YouTube, so I know who they are. Some people I will need to verify that you are a real person. So you've got to have a camera, unfortunately. And I need to be able to see. You don't have to be on camera net like I am now on the screen, but when you log into StreamYard, whilst you're in the back waiting to come on, I need to be able to see you. I will see you. Nobody else will. But once I've verified that you're a real person and not a recording or something like that, then you can turn your camera off and come up on the screen if you wish to. So, right. So there is the link. Let me pin that. There we go. There's your link to StreamYard. I need a makeup person to, like when you're on the telly and they put stuff on to stop the shine. Hello, Mr. Roger.
And you expecting me to come on here and not fucking ramble?
Hello, Mrs. W.
Hello, gorgeous.
How are you, sweetheart?
All the better for spending the night with you.
Hello, Jacobos.
Hello. Hello, everyone. How are we doing today?
Right, mate, you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Will, he's been, I think it's six charges or 6 indecent assaults and 2 or 3 rapes, I think it is, of somebody under the age of 16, and it was in the 80s. He must be, close to 20 or around the 20 age mark at that point. I was talking about this earlier, and I said it is at the moment. It is just charges has not been proven yet. But number one, they must have pretty good evidence, considering this is the ex-head of the IOPC. I can't imagine them taking somebody like that to court if they haven't got very, very strong evidence. So we'll see how that pans out anyway. But it just goes to show that these people they've permeated all of the top fucking positions. And we have to be very, very careful about who we're dealing with these days. I do have the drink sweat, Scott. That's what it is. That's why my face is all shiny still. It's like when you eat too much food and you get meat sweats, don't you? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I just need
every day with what I carry around.
I need somebody with one of them fucking puffer things with powder, and you go over your face to hide your sweaty stuff. But there we go.
Well, I've enjoyed myself today.
What have you been up to, Jack? Talk to us.
My brother took me to town. And we went adventure golf.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. For my birthday. Now, obviously, he would have preferred if it would have been tomorrow instead of today, but he obviously couldn't put he couldn't put work off tomorrow, so he's had to do it. He won by 11. I got like 77. He got 68.
Right.
He won by 11. And there's like a bonus thing at the end, so you get to get a free go. Get this little card, you get a free go the next time you go, or whenever you want, pretty much. And I didn't get it. You've got to get into this hole at the top, and it's like so. was like a slim chance of getting it, and he got it. And he shouted because of how proud he was, and everyone started looking at him. And then we went to McDonald's afterwards because we were hungry. And then we went to the shops, and then we went home afterwards. So we spent a few hours in town. I loved it.
Nice, mate. That's nice. It's nice you've had a good day. Glad you've had a good day today. But you should have cheated. You should have won. Should have cheated. It was done for your birthday, so you got away with it.
Well, one of the rules was that after six attempts, you would have had to move on. But we weren't playing by the rules, so we would just keep doing it until we got it into the hole. And so I on one of the holes, I basically tried to put 11 times. I got it on the 11th time.
Right.
And that was what made me lose.
Part of the fun, though. Do you know what I mean? You laugh about it.
Yeah.
It's not a serious thing. You have a laugh, and Roger's hiding.
He's hiding.
We'll see you.
We can see you.
I got a rubber mat on the floor so the wheels on the chair don't damage the carpet. It's a proper office one.
Yeah.
Every time I move my chair, the fucking thing folds up and it ends up like a bedroll under the table.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you.
Well, there is
Good
something
evening,
on
everyone.
the internet about that. There's supposed to be, what is it? Some virus or global cyber attack or something.
Yeah,
They're
the problem
saying
is...
somebody's just said 250 cities are going to be targeted.
The only way they could do that is if your internet service provider actually goes down. Nobody can take the internet down unless all the internet service providers are destroyed in one way or not, figuratively speaking, of course, because then they can't send the signal to your house. And that's the only way. But I can't see how anybody, they would need a huge group of hackers or whatever. Like, I know there are some big groups, but you would need an absolutely enormous group of hackers in order to carry out something like that on so many.
You need one for each person you're trying to bloody hack, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd only be hacking the ISP, the internet service providers, potentially. You might have to. I know, obviously, you've got like hubs around the country that from an internet service provider, so you might have to attack each one of those. I don't know. I don't understand it fully, but
the amount of packets you'll be sending though is millions of packets you'll be sending.
Well, it depends what they're trying to do. If they're trying to DDoS,
maybe
if they're trying to DDoS it or whatever, then yes, you're talking an enormous amount of traffic, like you've probably never seen before.
They would notice if there was that amount of traffic. They would notice.
But I would, if it's anything, I would suggest it. If they're going to do that, I would suggest it would have to be some kind of virus that's got into the into the main server at the ISP that's going to attack it somehow. But who knows? I find it hard to believe that it would happen, to be honest. That's just my opinion. If it does, then and I'm wrong, then fair enough.
Maybe Skynet's going live.
I was just about. How do you know? I was just about to say it reminds me of Terminator 3. I watched that film recently where Skynet took over. And all the nuclear warheads from all the countries were targeting their own.
And the other one, the original version of that happening, was War Games with a computer called Wampa.
Wow.
Yeah. Ransomware attack. I suppose that makes sense, but again, it would need to be one hell of a sophisticated.
Yeah, it's not. It would be China.
Because they would have, they're obviously, this is probably boring discussion for some people watching. I do apologize, but they're going to have so much more sophisticated antivirus and whatnot on their systems than we could even consider, I think. So it would have to be a hell of a sophisticated virus in order to do that. But it's not impossible. We've seen and heard about the FBI being hacked before and things like that. So it's not you know, it's not something that is
impossible.
beyond realms of possibilities.
Yeah.
But didn't we had a warning like this a
So
couple
how
of years
drunk are
ago,
you then,
didn't
Dan?
we?
Sorry?
We had a warning like this a couple of years ago.
How drunk are you?
Someone was going to pull the whole web down, and
Oh, gosh, you went there for a second. How
How
drunk
drunk-
are you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm not drunk at the moment, but I've got just under half a litre of brandy here.
And on the scale of 1 to 10 last night, how drunk from 1 being not, 10 being?
Do you know what? I was actually really good. I mean, normally you get when you go out and have a good drink, it's normally when the elements hit you, when you go outside and the air hits you, and you know that kind of thing will make you feel bad. But I felt all right last night. I genuinely didn't feel that bad last night. Drunk a fair bit. Drunk, well, I don't know, about a dozen beers. 2/3 of a bottle of brandy. So I didn't drink that much brandy last night, to be honest. In fact, I didn't even buy brandy when I was out. I was just drinking pints, and then we got on to some shots, had a few shots, and then back on the pints. There's a few people that turned up. Ricky, if you're about, by the way, I've got your bag here. So yeah, the bag, you left it in the pub, and I brought it home with me. So I've got your bag, mate. So we'll have to, if you're watching, or if anybody sees Ricky62 pop up in the comments, can you let me know so I can?
yeah, I'll keep an eye.
Oh no! Hello, Sonic.
Put in the comment space.
Hi Brian. Hi Sense Fender. Hi Crafts. Hi Step Style.
I thought you said something else when you said sense offender.
Thank you, Carol.
Hmm.
No, just saying hello to a few people that I've missed in the chat at the moment. So that's all. So yeah. So anyway,
I'm noticing a lack
Evening,
of hair
Saxon.
on these streams. A lack of hair. I'm the only one that's got hair.
Brian,
Oh.
you don't need to do that, man. I appreciate it, but you really don't need to do that. It's really nice of you.
5 memberships.
You know, and you do what you want to do, obviously, you know, but just so you know, you don't have to. Mr. Walker, how you doing? Good evening, the last Saxon. Sean, good evening. Thank you very much. There is a distinct lack of follicles on this channel at most times. Yeah. I think Jack has more hair than everybody else that comes on the panel put together.
Yeah.
On his chin.
It was past my annual shearing time, so
So I've decided to call this T-shirt my Father's Day T-shirt. So if anybody under the age of 20 odd watching, you know,
he is your father, Luke.
you'd start asking.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, but Bearded, you don't come on the panel that often. So if you was on the panel, yeah, you'd have more hair than everybody in anybody that's watching. I would imagine, just on your chin.
As the best.
Thanks, Spence. I appreciate that. I do have his number, but I've been asleep all day and completely forgot. Well, not all day, as you know, I forgot. But yeah, and I know.
It was up relatively early for you this morning.
I know. Rotten Politics. Good evening, sir.
Rotten. Good evening, buddy.
I mean, if it weren't for you finding Ricky's bag, someone disingenuous could have probably nicked it or something.
Yeah, well, he had a drone in it.
Wow.
You know, and
I know that there are a lot of money in there.
Thank you, Brian.
he was saying about
You got membership again.
Mrs. W, Princess Angela, News Now Yorkshire, Rich Buddy, and Benji have all got memberships there. Well done.
Is that your alerts coming across that, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You'll see on the screen right there.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Right.
I haven't focused my eyes since about 2 o'clock.
Right, now we
I'll tell you
start.
what, though, we came back a different way this afternoon.
Back to yours.
Yeah, instead of coming up the motorway and then coming in on the M62 and then coming through the city, which the way the sat navs bring you, we went straight out on the 57, connected to the 62, and then on the motorway.
Yeah.
And it literally, we knocked our half hour off the journey.
Oh, that's handy.
So I remember that for next time we come up, we'll ignore the sat nav and just keep going. Are you typing or have you fallen asleep?
No, I was just typing. Thank you, Brian. It was really kind of you, mate. Appreciate that. But again, as I've said, you don't need to do that all the time. So anyway, where's Jack gone? Oh yeah, he said he was good. He said he's going somewhere.
He gone.
So yeah, if anybody else wants to jump up on the panel, please feel free. The link, as I say, is pinned in the comments.
We don't charge.
Yeah. Yeah, don't take it the wrong way, Brian, please. I'm not being an arse. I'm not being, ungrateful. I do genuinely appreciate, your generosity to members or to.
He's a big supporter of the channel. He always has been.
Yeah.
Very generous man.
Hello, Margaret. How are you? Brain dead PCSOs assist theft and supervised video deletion. I think I've seen that actually, Nickel. I saw the video and I think I commented on the video. I'm sure I have. Somebody sent me the video and I did. I commented. Did I comment on the video? Or did I reply? I can't remember. But yeah, I saw it. Shouldn't have happened. PCSOs thick as shit. And this is the one where the PCSO gave the phone to the person who made the complaint, wasn't it? If I remember rightly. So the PCSOs took the phone off of the person doing the filming, and then the guy who had made the complaint said to the PCSOs, "Well, give us it here and I'll sort it out." And they gave the evidence. So they broke the chain of evidence. They gave it to the guy who made the complaint. I mean, what the fuck? That is, that is a fuck up in anybody's, like a major fuck up in anybody's book. And they should be. I can't remember who it was now, but they should be suing them for that. It's trespass of goods at the very least. Yes, the only people that can delete stuff off of your phone is so not the only people who can, but the only people that can authorize the deletion of something is the person whose property it belongs to, or a court has to get an order in order to have that deleted. So yeah, excuse me. Where are we going? So, right, let me sup up some more brandy, and I'll liven up a little bit in a minute.
Well, we got rain again here now. It was fucking hell of one earlier on. I was laid on the bed, and the wind and the rain was as loud as the thunder. It was
Really?
like a tornado with the trees in the window. It was unbelievable, man.
Thunder was wonderful.
Oh, and it was nice to listen to, but I'd have preferred to fucking sleep.
I did. Send me.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, Greg, there is a website. I can't remember the bloody name of it. I can't remember the bloody name of it. Let me see if I can find it. I think somebody sent me something in email the other day. If I can find it, I'm probably not going to be able to. But no, there is a website that shows the outcomes. It's something called Barley or something. But I'm trying to remember how it's spelled. It's like BALII or something like that. I can't remember. I don't know how I'm going to go through these emails to find the email with it, with that link in. BAILI. Yes, that sounds like the one. Yeah, there we go. The British and Irish Legal Information Institute, BAILII. So if you type in BAILII into Google or whatever search engine you use, and it'll bring up the British and Irish Legal Information Institute, and you've got recent decisions, all cases, and you've also got a database there. So if you know any of the details about the trial or the case or whatever, that will help you narrow down the search, obviously. But it gives you it gives you the transcripts of the case and everything else. So really good informational website.
Yeah, I know.
Cool. Yeah, you can craft, but some of it isn't. Some of the outcomes, the in-depth outcomes, aren't published. This Barley, it will give you, depending if it's been published or not, give you everything. It gives you the court transcripts, the decision, the sentencing, all of the information that we don't get to hear in the media. All the dark it's all in there. But yeah, take a look at it. To be honest, Kaylee, I shouldn't be drinking, but I like to live life on the edge. So they say. It was thundering here earlier when I got up. That's my excuse, Mrs. W. That's the excuse I use. So yeah, when I woke up at about 7:15 or whatever. What are you doing down there, Jack? I don't really want to ask, do I?
No, I crawled into my bedroom.
Oh. So yeah, I woke up this afternoon. I've looked out the window and I was like, "Oh, fuck me, it's been raining." And Tiff was like, "Oh my God," she goes, "It was thundering earlier." I was like, "Oh, I can step right through that." Hello, Para. How you doing? Is your mate there, Rog?
I can see him.
What the hell is autofellatio?
Self-sucking.
Oh, pardon me.
I'm not flexible.
Have a few ribs removed, and you'll be more flexible than you think.
and lose weight.
Oh dear. How are you, Powers? You all right? What's it like over there, mate? We live on the edge of the couch. That's right, Brian.
Some of us fell off it years ago.
Under a red sky, £20.
UBRS,
Red
thanks.
Sky, thank you.
Oh, wrong one. Thank you, much appreciated. It was good, but Paris, it was nice to meet, Heather and Roger again. Obviously, lovely couple of people. Tiffany and Sonic. Not so much Sonic, but Tiffany. Who else?
Muumua.
Muumua, yeah, Muumua, whatever. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but yeah.
Muumua.
And Ricky as well turned up again, which was really nice.
The good-looking one.
Spence.
Yeah, Spence, the good-looking one. So I was all right till he turned up because I was the best-looking one there at that point.
Really?
He's still my favourite.
Oh dear.
Oh, fucking hell.
No, it was a damn good night. It really was. I mean, I don't drink, and I enjoyed it.
Well, we met a Lithuanian. I can't remember what his name was now, but we met a Lithuanian. Arnold, yeah, who may well be watching. I don't know. He did subscribe to the channel last night, but very animated guy. Bought me a couple of drinks. Thankfully, they weren't spiked. Yeah, it was all right. I can't even remember what time we got back here last night. I remember in my head for some reason I've got the time 4 o'clock in my head, but I don't know what that's.
Tiff said 4.
Yeah, Tiff said 4 this morning when you guys got back.
Oh, it could well have been then. So yeah, it was a late night, and had I not had that drink to numb the pain, there's no way I could have lasted that. Hi, Tiff.
Sonic's probably raiding the fridge and he's probably sleeping in it. I don't know.
Sonic's always playing hide and seek for some reason. He'll probably crawl in here in a bit and just appear from, I don't know, he'll pop his head up from between my legs or something shortly. Just go, ooh.
Yeah, while you're there.
He'll pop his legs up and he'll call you Keith.
Yeah, I what was it? We left about 1 o'clock, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, it was about.
I honestly can't remember the time.
It was gone 12.
It was well gone 12. I remember that, and then got back to the hotel for some sleep and couldn't fucking get any because of the noise there.
And the temperature of the room.
Yeah, temperature of the room. It was hot.
But to be like the air conditioning unit outside your window, but your room was 2 air conditioning units outside your window, but your room was hot.
Yeah. They weren't connected to the rooms; they were connected to downstairs.
Oh fucking hell!
And then you got, because it was the jet ski festival in the lake by the side of it. 8 o'clock this morning, that you got some guy with a motorbike engine in a jet ski revving the shit out of it about 100 yards away.
Don't book in the lake house at Liverpool.
Don't use the lake house, Liverpool.
And I bet if he was at home, you'd have gone out there and told him to shut up.
I'd have probably gone out there and drowned the bastard. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a nice looking hotel. The room was brilliant, spacious, clean. But
Bathroom door didn't shut.
well, the bathroom door didn't shut. Yeah, they'd fitted the frame wrong. But they had it was a huge room-wide window at the end. And It was like the 2 openers, and then the big panel in the middle was all frosted. So you couldn't see through. So I looked out the side, and basically there was a fucking building site outside the window.
Hello, Rex.
I did take a video of it. I'll chuck it in a video in the week.
Yeah, you said, yeah. We'll keep an eye out for that. But it's a shame when you've got when you come across somewhere like that it sounds nice, the lake house. The location sounds nice, but unfortunately, it sounds like the experience itself was less to be desired.
The wrong weekend.
Yeah, probably the wrong weekend as well with the festival on there, but
That's your fault. Your fault, Dan.
I'd
nobody else had any rooms available. They were all full, so we reckon a lot of them were full of immigrants.
Well, next year we'll. It depends where I am. I mean, I might even be back down south by then. We'll have to wait and see, but we'll know in advance by a month or two what's happening next year, and if need be, as you said earlier, Mrs. W, try and book a bit earlier.
Yeah.
If I'm down south at that point, then what I'll try and do is I'll try and come up halfway, or maybe to Birmingham area, and book up.
Well, you got a kip here if you need it. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told Dan you'd be on the bed setter.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you might want me in the shed. Spence said that I was snoring this morning.
I'll tell you what, you'd be in good company.
That's why I'm putting him in the spare room so he can sleep.
Hello, Tina.
Hiya, everybody all right?
How are you?
I'm good. How's you, Mr. Sorryhead?
Hang on, you talking to me or Roger?
Not me. I don't drink. I was fine.
Not drunk, not drinking, but you're tired. No, I'm good. I'm good, thank you.
You look all right, mate. So not too bad. I think last year it was a bit worse because you really did have a bad head. So.
I was still drunk, I think, last year.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm still drunk this year. I didn't. To be fair, I didn't feel that drunk last night. Even this morning, it was just a tiredness. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's late nights. You're not used to late nights out, are you? So it's a long day and late nights. So tiredness kicks in first.
It's hit me worse this year because, my ability is getting worse as time goes on. So it has hit me worse this year in respect to the tiredness.
Yeah.
Sorry, the physical drain on my body. But last year I was more mentally drained, and I think that was very obvious.
Yep, no worries. We got to catch up as soon as to talk about this paperwork you got back in.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'll give you a ring tomorrow if that's all right.
Yeah, when you're ready. That'll be in the afternoon, I take it.
Well, to be honest, this isn't going to be a late live stream. I'm probably going to finish about 11 o'clock tonight because I do need some more sleep. So hopefully I'll be up at a more reasonable time tomorrow.
It doesn't matter. I'm available. I'm only taking the piss, mate. So yeah.
Woodstock. We went to the Richard John Blackler in Liverpool. It's one of the easiest pubs to find, I think, to be honest. So that's where we went. Yeah, what's Sonic doing anyway? Is he watching in there? Sorry?
That cyber attack, Dan, I've just looked it up. It don't look like it's going to be a mass hit, but they've had sustained attacks in America in defense systems and shit. And they reckon it's just a campaign of hacking by the Russians.
Right.
So
not tonight.
People who spread out information, or they make people panic when it's probably not as serious as it's made out. Yeah,
always the same. Doesn't matter what's happening. Somebody out there will turn it into something worse than it is, as we've seen for years.
Well, Murph just said they're mobilising armies in different countries. What they're going to do? Shoot the internet?
Well, yeah.
or is it an excuse of propaganda to be allowed to mobilise your armies?
There's the two things you got to think about. But what use is the army? They're not going to be able to do anything. It's not a physical thing, is it?
No.
We can do stand there and say, "Don't do it, or we'll shoot." At the computer.
We're going to cure the cyber attack. We'll take all your fucking computers off you.
We've had threats of this for a number of years, so I'm surprised it's not coming out now, especially when the countries are low in coming out of COVID. So I'm not surprised this is coming out now to scare people. I'm really not.
Yeah. Well, they're running out of fear fear.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Stories, aren't they?
Hi, Sonic.
The whole war thing.
Well, they've even started to repeat a lot of them, haven't they?
It is just that. It's that they can't think of anything else to keep us under that control that they did during COVID. So coming up with new ideas, like when Putin started moving his nuclear warheads, we had that alert, didn't we? Which not a lot of people got. So it wouldn't have saved it that many. But basically, that was again a scare tactic because he'd moved his nuclear warheads to Belarus. Oh, panic, panic, panic! He's going to start a nuclear war.
But so many people now, you know, not quite the majority, but still so many people now are just like, stop bullshitting when it comes to the whole war thing. And I think that because so many people are not scared about what's going on, and I'm not, you know, at the end of the day, right, if somebody's going to nuke us, they're going to nuke us, we're fucked. You know what I mean? What's the point of worrying about it? Yeah. Two
nukes in the UK, we're done. That's it, we're toast. The whole country's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the point of worrying about it? You know, do what you do, carry on doing what you do, say what you say, you know, live your life, how you live your life, and just carry on with it. And a lot of people are like that. There are some people out there that are panicking and scared and all that stuff. But what is the point? Generally, there's nothing you're going to be able to do. You're a citizen, and we put our lives in the hands of other people, and we put our lives in the hands of people that don't give a shit about us.
No, they don't. They don't. Well, if you think about it, that's right, Dan. They had nuclear fallout bunkers put in after World War II in every council, every parliamentary building. So the only ones that get saved are the dickheads that don't know what they're fucking doing. So if the new world's going to come from that lot, it's going to be a pretty shit new world.
No, let's have it right, Tina. The only ones that are going to get saved are the people that fucking started it in the first place.
More than likely. But even our council in their building, they've got 6 nuclear fallout bunkers across the city that only councillors are allowed in. No members of the public.
Yeah.
It's crazy what they're trying to do. You right, Jack?
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah.
You're 21 tomorrow?
Yeah, 7:35.
Get in.
Have you got anything planned for tomorrow, Jack?
Not really, no.
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 What about friends? Not going out with friends or anything like that?
To be honest, I don't have any friends.
Oh, you do with us a lot, Jack. We love you.
Probably a couple of people.
I mean, what I'm you know what I mean. No
I
friends.
do.
Yeah.
When you've got complex issues like you do, it's hard to make friends. It really is. It's difficult. So.
Plus, I prefer to stay in anyway.
I know.
Yeah. I do.
Suddenly, as you get older, having a birthday party comes popular again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I haven't celebrated birthdays for over 30 years. I don't bother with it. I don't bother with Easter. It's a waste of money. Christmas, no.
Yeah.
None of that.
You get to a stage where you don't like to be reminded of it.
That's why I reversed my age. So this year I'll be 62. So if I turn it backwards, I'll be 26. So that's fine by me.
All you need is the anti-aging. All you need is the anti-aging cream.
It doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
It seriously doesn't work.
You want to get cream that makes you look young again.
We have a sell-by date. All of us do. Human life has a sell-by date. We don't know what that sell-by date is. You can't stop age. It's just impossible to do so. It's the natural form of life. If we could reverse our age by creams or pills or whatever, we'd be overpopulated in a couple hundred years, and that would be it. The planet would probably go, you know. So there is a reason why we have an expiry date, which we're not sure of. So
yeah, could also be one of the reasons why
past the best before.
I don't for a minute believe that there's not a cure for cancer. I don't believe.
Oh, me neither. No, been through it, mate.
It's been going on. You think of the billions of pounds that, you know, for example, the charities have had to do research and stuff, right? And they're saying they can't find a cure for cancer, but they found a Kool-Aid for the flu, so to speak, You know what I'm getting at about without
do.
mentioning stuff.
And that is true because they're still using chemo and radiation as the only treatment, and that was brought in the 1920s. That's radioactive fluid. That does serious damage to the body. They still haven't people like Poland, they've got proton machines, right? There was that young lad that was in Oxford Street Hospital. Parents took him to Spain because they had a tumour on his brain. And they said he was going to die in Oxford, the children's hospital, and they wouldn't let the parents take him out there. So they took him. They went to Spain. They got the police to arrest the parents of that child in Spain. The hospital's got no right to do that. They didn't have custody of that child. Anyway, he went to Poland where they do this proton machine. I don't know how it works, but this proton machine directed the tumour. And I think he was 7 at the time. It literally shrank it in 6 weeks, and he's now 16, perfectly healthy. But radiation and chemo, when you have radiation on any part of the body, it spreads right through the system. Yeah. It literally spreads.
Well, again, number one, you think of the money Big Pharma is making on the treatment. Mm-hmm. Number two, you think about the fact that the government need people to die.
Mm-hmm. They do.
In order for their agenda, which is sad, obviously. But I get it. As you say, we would be overpopulated if people were living longer than they are now. I know there was a time where people were dying at, at the age of 30 or 40.
Yeah.
But living to the age of 80, I don't think is, or even 90, I don't think is a big issue.
No, the middle age now is the middle age, Dan. You're okay at the moment because that's now 50, not 40. So that's been moved up. You're only old age when you get over 80. You can only call a person old when they're over 80 now. So because there are lots of people now surviving in the hundreds. They're going over 100. That's increased.
What is it they say? You're only as old as you feel or the woman you're feeling.
Yeah. I'm not going to go there.
No.
That doesn't make me any younger.
I could do with feeling 21 again.
Well, I was 47, a divorcee. I divorced my old man at 39, and I was 47-year-old when I went out with a 32-year-old, a very young man. So,
hi, Simon. Hello, Simon.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Good evening, Simon.
It's not going to be a late one tonight, Simon. I'm going to be done on here for about 11 o'clock ish, so don't leave it too long.
You didn't hear any music at all.
Yeah.
What you did?
No.
Oh, okay. No, Mum phoned me. That's why I muted my microphone, just so you didn't get copyright striked.
Yeah.
My name is Richard, and I'm sitting in the corner.
No, it was a new song with Anne-Marie and David Guetta in it.
Dear.
Me as Richard are sitting in the corner. Can't get that out of my head now.
That's all right. I'll give you something else to forget that one.
Who should have never been born? Ginger? Who's adopted? Ginger?
That's funny.
I'm not ginger. There are a few people that are ginger that definitely that definitely works for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying any more.
No. Mind you, gloves are off, to be honest. Gloves are off as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was interesting last night, but while you were enjoying yourselves and whatnot, it was interesting last night. I popped over to the cats, just seeing how she is and whatnot. I'd never expected Kay to be on there.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Strange.
And he actually, and he was basically just spitting whatever about you, as usual, because people are paying you whatever, and
disagreeing with people basically.
Yeah. And he was like, okay, well, if you're attacking me, then I'm going to attack you. I mean, he's already said what his reasoning is. Not that it particularly matters anyway, but
I call it playground games. When you're 5 years old and you want to have a kick off on the playground, like children.
Well, the thing is, though, is it really acceptable to gore bomb or porn bomb just simply because you don't like what someone's doing, you
It's not.
think it's okay
No.
to destroy their work. You know,
That's what I'm saying. It's childish behaviour. That what they're doing is childish.
Yeah.
And that's what you should say, Jack. They are behaving as a child, so they've gone back mentally to a 5-year-old.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he mentioned the Kool-Aid yesterday, and I weren't really talking about it, and he was talking about me not liking the Kool-Aid, and I was like, what have I got to do with it? I don't know. I couldn't be arsed yesterday. Today is a good day, and
Yes.
like most, I'd like it to stay that way.
Sonic's pissed himself on my fucking sofa. Sonic's pissed himself on my sofa. There's a wet
you
patch.
dirty git, Sonic. Yeah, really? You want to expect us to believe that?
Yeah, okay. Blame it on the iron brew.
Well, that's what he pisses anyway with the amount he drinks of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is just childish behaviour, Jack, and you're not going to get away from that because some adults can't get past that stage where they believe they're a playground bully. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So are your parents going to get you a nice gift tomorrow, Jack, and a card for your birthday?
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. But say that when I was when they came off of holiday, it was just something they saw. They got me. I thought it was my birthday, but it wasn't. They got me a slush machine. I could make me a very own slush. My only problem is that the first time I did it, I made one mistake. I put too much ice in, and it wasn't the salt that was the issue. It was too much ice. And what happened is if you put too much in, it goes over a fill line, and so that salty water that you put salt in the ice to stop it from freezing or whatever. And it got too much, and it actually mixed in with the syrup. So basically, the all I could taste of the slush was, this was about 2 weeks ago. The slush, all I could taste was the salt. I could taste the slush, but it was the salt. It was not nice at all. It was not nice at all.
I can imagine.
But
well, you'll get better at it.
I made a mistake, and I'm learning from it. That's exactly what Dad said.
Yeah.
You made a mistake, and you can learn from it.
Definitely.
So,
good teaching.
But I don't know what they've got me. I mean, we'll have to see. They might have got me nothing, or they might have got me something. I mean, either way, I'm not particularly chuffed anyway, because I know they're not doing too good with money at the moment anyway, because, mortgage rates going up and everything.
Well, being 21 years ago meant something different to now, because you couldn't do a lot of things until you were 21. But it changed years ago. You could marry at 16 if you had permission, or if you eloped to Gretna Green. You could drink at 14 in a pub or in a restaurant. Your children could drink as young as 8. But marriage as well was something you couldn't do under the age of 21 until your parents were satisfied you were an adult enough to get married back in the day. So it's all changed a lot.
Can you technically get married at 16 with parental permission?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never knew if you could or not.
But if you don't take parental permission at 16, it's 14, I think, in Scotland. You can leave home at 14 in Scotland, 16 here, and you can take a girlfriend and go to Gretna Green in Scotland and get legally married without parents' consent.
Yeah, it's madness, isn't it? Try and take all your parental rights away from you, so you can't fucking look after your own.
It leads to disaster, doesn't it? With 2 16-year-olds, they get married, they have a kid at 17, and their lives are ended. So that's the problem. So
yeah,
my son threatened it once. Said, "Do you want me to buy the bus ticket?" And he went, "What?" I said, "Do you want me to buy the bus ticket? Because if you do this, you're not coming back in this house with your girlfriend. You're on your own." He went, "What? You can't do that. We're in love." I went, "Yeah, right, really. It's just sex, Darren. Get over it." So you're still young, mate. You got a bit to do yet. He dumped her 2 weeks later. They had a fight. So we want to go and get married. Yeah, not supporting that. No. Do whatever you want, but you won't come back here. That's what I don't understand about America with marriages. You get married in America, and they've still got this blinkered system in place where once you marry, the in-laws will order you to live in their house. So you end up with a mother-in-law and the father-in-law, and you have to stay with your husband in that house until you've got enough money to move out. But in most cases, the mother-in-law becomes the mother-in-law from fucking hell, and they make them do housework. They keep them awake all night. They literally treat their new daughter-in-law as a piece of crap and a maid. There's loads that get taken to court. I don't understand that, moving into another relative's house. Why? But then in America, they got, I think, 13 states. If you leave home and your parents become too sick to work, it's called filial responsibility. You've got to pay them a monthly income to survive out of your wages.
Wow.
Well, luckily, we have an American who's just popped up in the back room here on StreamYard.
Wow. Cool.
Bring him on and we'll see if he's got anything.
12 or 13 states where you have to literally pay for your elderly parents, especially medical bills and all that kind of stuff. Hiya, Jack.
Hello, sir.
All right.
The thing I was listening to in the background before I came up about marriage in America, got to live with the in-laws. It's not like that unless you're.
Oh, I've got friends that have had it happen. I've got friends that have had it happen, mate. They moved in with their mother-in-law and their father-in-law, and the wife got treated like crap, so they divorced a year later. So
it's probably because they're broke and not working. It's probably because they're broke and not working.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on where you're from, what area as well, what state, because it's different state to state. It is different, but they do invite new brides to move in with the in-laws. Our family now.
Utah, where they have that. What is that? Polygamous?
Polygamy.
Polygamy, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe like in Pennsylvania with the Pennsylvania Dutch, the Amish.
Oh, the Amish, yeah. Are they still strong over there, the Amish?
They're a weird group of people.
Yeah, but I saw some TV programs on there, and a lot of the younger generation were leaving. They got the taste of the outside world, and they no longer wanted to stay. So, which I can understand with kids, they want to move on. So that was on a TV show.
They call it spring rama.
It's great to see them make their own choices. They want to move away. That's it. Yeah, the TV company paid for them to go on trips, and of course, half of them didn't want to go back once they saw what the real world was like.
You know, wearing bikinis and speaking of drinking.
How are you, Jack? Anyway, everything all right over there? Is it?
Which one?
You. How's
everything going over here? Not too bad over here. It cooled down over here. It rained earlier this evening, but it's not what 4:08 a.m.
Right. I forgot where you are. Where are you again?
Bacolod City, Philippines.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that you're living in the Philippines now, aren't you? Sorry, I'm still recovering from last night, so my apologies. I forgot.
Okay.
Change my name so we don't get mixed up between Jack and Jack.
Name change to 2 Jacks. Yeah, what nice one, Jack.
We'll just put Keith because Sonic calls him Keith all the time.
What's that a bottle of, Jack? What you just picked a bottle of?
It is a bottle of Red Horse.
Wow.
That's
a huge bottle. That's huge.
Oh yeah.
How much is in there?
Looks almost the same size as a brandy bottle.
1,000 ml.
How much?
A liter, no, 1,000 milliliters.
Wow.
So yeah, this is a liter as well. It's just the thousands.
Oh.
Spitting did a clip with Philip Schofield and Jason Donovan in the 90s where they pretended not to be gay. Yeah, people know, you know, if you're in the public eye like Scof was, people, you know, it's very difficult to hide anything about your life because everybody's scrutinizing you in one way or another. So it's to hide stuff, especially, you know, as big as what he was hiding. And although most of us didn't know, a lot of people that knew them did. And I think it was the same with, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not tarring. Some people will, but I'm not saying Schofield was the same as Saville or any of the others. But people knew what was going on. The same as with Saville and what's the other fucker? What's his name? Do you want to be in my sung that? What's his name? You're muted, Roger, by the way.
Me. Gary Glitter.
Gary Glitter, that's the one. Thank you.
Yeah. Is he out on bail now, or is he back in?
Oh, he went back in, didn't he? As far as I know, he's still
I'm
in
not
now.
sure what happened.
Yeah, he got taken back in.
Well, the records for the UK was the writer Oscar Wilde was arrested after losing a libel case. He'd been having a homosexual affair since 1891 with the Marquess's son, and he was found guilty and sentenced to 2 years of hard labour. So it was around for a long, long time. It goes back centuries. Because if you remember when the Romans came here, they were into all that gay, lesbian, homosexual activity anyway, and the Greeks. They had young boys, young girls on standby all the time for lots of role play.
That's what the Romans kept a lot of their slaves for.
Yeah, they did sex. Yeah,
Yeah,
young
a lot
girls.
of them used to sleep with their own family members as well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
even the Egyptians did. Most of those were inbred.
Yes. Yeah, a couple of the Roman conquerors, didn't they? They had one of them married their sister, or was it sister-in-law? I can't remember. But they married quite close they were keeping the bloodline pure, as they thought. But yeah, no.
Even like down south in the U.S., like they like to get down like that with, you know, keep it in the family type of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not.
So that's all happens in the deep south, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can tell the generation and the family by the angle of the teeth.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but come on, they took the piss out of the Cornish for years like that as well, didn't they? You know.
Yeah, the inbreeding. Yeah, they did.
I remember one telling me, he said, "Do you want to marry my daughter? She's a pure Cornish virgin." I said, "Oh, she ain't good enough for a family, mate. She ain't good enough for me."
Yeah.
Tony on his knees saying yes, master, to getting rid of everyone else's private car ownership. But they, you know, in the background they're saying, listen, we'll get rid of everyone else's if you let us keep ours.
That's never going to happen. They are not going to tell people they can't drive a car, especially when they don't have a public service.
They've only got to change the law and it can be brought in, can't it? That's all they've got to do.
Then people need to uprise and say, look, one guy did it, you know, what is that thing Sadiq Khan put in, the ULEZ zone in London? This guy could not get to his job. So he phoned his boss. He said, I can't drive in. I can't use public transport because of my tools. He said, so I can't get to work. So he's actually looking at suing the actual mayor of London for preventing him from doing his damn job. Yeah. Because he was outside the 20-minute zone and his job was an hour and a half into London. He couldn't get to work. And he clamped some ambulances parked up dealing with people that were sick in London, one of the London streets, and he clamped the ambulances and had them towed. So
fucking ridiculous.
Can you just move closer to work?
I think the best one was making it registered his car to Khan and then was driving it in and out the zones.
That's right, yeah. Everybody register your car to Sadiq Khan.
But the last report I heard on him was he's not only charging people the $4,500 a year for using their car, they're charging everybody. Everybody's getting the same charges if you want to drive in London, whether it's diesel, petrol, whatever. He's charging everyone. He's got to have millions in the bank he's raking in. He's not going to get in next year, I hope, because he's a twat.
Do you guys have the sovereign citizens over there?
We do have some over here. It's not as big a thing as it is over there or in America, but we do have that over here.
I've seen that, like, I think UK, like one episode I've seen on YouTube, and I've seen some in Australia. I'm like,
it's spread. Yeah, it's not big here though.
Spreading.
It does spread, but I like the ones that what's that they use in America, that common law thing, Jack, where they claim they don't have to have a driving license to drive their car.
Common law, Black's lives,
Hi, Bearded.
dictionary,
Yeah.
primarily, and they usually all have the script in their car. And they're trying to fumble through it, and they sometimes epically fail. And if they do, not win, but read through it, it's all in order. It's all the same script. They get offline. I'm like,
wow.
The problem is, Jack, is nobody really has gotten away with using that stuff. Okay, there's been, I don't know of any case, especially here in the UK, I don't know of any cases where somebody has used that as an argument and been able to get away with it. I understand where they're coming from, but a lot of it is misinterpretation of the law. And I say to the way that I say is that you might not agree with acts and statutes because you've not agreed to them, personally. But we don't have to. It's called, we're policed by consent, like in America. You're policed by consent, but it's not your individual consent. This is why we have MPs. Okay, an MP goes to Parliament to agree or disagree based on the consensus of the majority of their constituency. So you might not agree with something, but if the majority of people do, then unfortunately that will be taken as the majority consent to it, and you've got to abide by it.
That's why not voting doesn't make any difference, because they'll vote themselves in, which means they've got consent.
Yeah, you're right, Roger. No, but I always preach that we have to use the tools that they use against us. We have to use against them, and the tools they use against stuff are the acts and statutes.
Yep.
So that is what we have to use to fight back. And simply saying I don't stand under your authority is unfortunately not going to get you anywhere.
No, it won't. Unfortunately.
How are you, Grand Wizard? The Grand Wizard of Teeth.
Yo, right, Mikey.
I'm all right. I'm just reading at the same time.
What are you reading? Anything good?
Oh wow.
What's it say? The rise. What's it say on the front? What's the rise?
On the road to victory.
Hang on a sec. Let me just. The rise of motor transport with the BEF on the Western Front. Okay.
It's a history book about motor vehicles used in the First World War by the British Army.
Oh wow!
Oh, okay.
So it's all about the history of how the British Army came to be using civilian trucks and buses and things like that.
Wow,
So
interesting.
It's research for my next model I'm making.
Oh wow!
Very nice.
Cool.
That.
Excuse me.
Oh, very nice. Oh, are you going to make that? Oh, I can't wait to see that one go up. That looks great.
I'm thinking of making that into a diorama, and I might put the Ford Model T ambulance with it as well.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
That'll be great. I look forward to seeing that. Really, I do. I always look forward to your little put-ups. It looks so cool. I couldn't do it. I ain't got the patience.
Have you seen the one I've put up today, Tina?
No, I haven't. I'll have to have a look at that. What was
I
that?
finished my Kit Bash one.
No. Ooh.
Yeah, the Elephantum Panzer.
Ooh, I've got to have a look at that one. Sorry, I'm going to look on Facebook. Sorry, guys.
Link in the comments, please.
Like during wartime here in the Philippines, the U.S. came up here and brought Jeep and like the Willys Jeep, and now they're still using them things here because we just left them here. And they're turn them to like buses, like
they last forever.
Many years.
There's actually still First World War trucks still being used in shows for museums and that now. Still being driven around.
Well, we're gonna stick your link in the I can't remember the what I need to do to put your link in, but
which link are you wanting down?
Bearded Vet.
Facebook.
It's the BVP MMH one, Dan.
Exclamation mark BV lowercase.
Right, Mark.
BVP military models and history.
Let's see if
How long is your beard?
Yes.
I was
Not long enough.
That one's gone to the photography page.
Yeah. This the models and history one done.
By the same, what FB after it?
Do the same with FB after. Right, hang on.
Yeah.
Buy something else. Pick it up.
If not, because I'm sure the it was put into my blog.
Dan, just go on my Facebook page. I put posts up there today from it. It's the easiest way.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll save a bit of time on it.
It does save time. He puts up all of his stuff.
I'm trying to summon Nightbot.
Sorry?
Sorry?
Are you trying to summon the Nightbot?
Yeah, we've set, there's a few people whose links, some of the people that have been friends of the channel for ages, we've got their links set up in Nightbot. But I didn't set it all up. My moderators set some of it up, and I can't remember what the link, what the code is to bring it up. So right, Bearded Vet, what's the page called again?
BVP or military models and history with BVP, I think.
Yeah,
BVP. Here we go. Military models. Right, let me click on that. Let me do that. If anyone is interested in Bearded Vet's interest in the model making and the dioramas and stuff that he makes, he's got some really good stuff on there, to be honest. I'm going to chuck his link into the comments now. That's his link. So if anyone's interested, please pop over on Facebook, give him a like.
Follow. Only got 23 followers.
Oh, hello, Gabby.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
How you doing, honey?
I'm all right. Thanks.
Good.
Hello, chat. Hi, panel. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you too, Gabby.
Yeah, we've had some wonderful
Right,
weather
Gabby.
here.
Yeah, we have here too.
Oh, it's been great, but it's supposed to be stormy weather coming, but making the most of it.
If it's the
Yeah,
one we had this afternoon, get ready, hunker down.
Oh,
We've
right.
had 27 to 25 for the past week.
Oh, aye, it's been great. It says here heavy rain coming soon.
Yeah, it's on its way up.
So
Well, somebody was telling me. I think it was Tiff. Was it you telling me what the temperature is going to be like next week?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be
but
like
end of July, end of June, beginning of July, we're supposed to get like 35-degree weather.
so 35 degrees. We're supposed to get end of the month, beginning of next month.
Great, that's going to fuck the fishing up.
there goes my plan.
When I was in Macau the other day, it was 40 degrees.
Wow. I'd melt.
Well, I did on I posted it into Discord the other day. I was sitting in the front room, and I had I've got a thermometer and humidity gauge thing, and it was just left. Yeah, it was left on the table.
Yeah,
and as the sun moved onto it, as the sun moved across the window, and the sun hit this table. Granted, it was on a table; it was in direct sunlight through the window, so it's going to be a bit hotter. But I watched it go from about 28 degrees, and I watched it rise to 50 point something degrees
Oh.
on the table, and I took screenshots of it. I shared it with Roger and some of the others in Discord, and even a video. And you could see it go like 38.9, 40, 40.1, 40.2, 40, and you could watch it going all the way up to 50. You know, it was absolutely fucking crazy. But again, that doesn't mean that was the temperature of the entire room. That was just
Everywhere,
where it was placed. But it gives you an idea of how warm it was getting.
A good example of that, Dan, is when we were in Iraq, our workshop was, the big corrugated metal things?
Yes.
Is one of them, and we had a thermometer on the outside of it, and in the middle of the day it was about 60 degrees because the radiant heat off the metal.
Yeah. That's why I think it went up so much on the table, because the table was absorbing a lot of heat. It was a dark table, so it was absorbing a lot of the UV rays and whatnot. But it was still bloody hot.
If you want to
It's
check your
brilliant weather
forecast,
for frying ants with magnifying glasses.
oh yeah. If you want to check your weather, guys, I've just put a link in the panel and on the chat. It's called metcheck.com. It's worldwide. The Met Office in the UK use satellites. Metcheck.com are volunteers right across the world. They use ground equipment and they get accurate recordings. It does fishing forecasts, tides, everything, and you can do a 16-day forecast on where you live, and it's completely free. Download it to your phone. Save it on your.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tina.
It tells you exactly what the weather's going to be, because our Met Office moved down here 20 years ago now to Exeter, and they've been crap ever since. They've never got the weather right. They do better if they're at the fucking window. So, yeah, they really should.
Stitch, can you do me a favour, just so I know it's you? Can you just put a comment in the normal chat, in the normal YouTube chat? Just say it's me, so I know it's you in the back there.
It's me, Mario.
Dan, can I just do a quick shout out to Kay? It's a second day of not smoking.
Oh, well done.
Nice one, Kaylee.
Well done.
She decided to give up yesterday.
Take a draw.
Did we lose Tina then?
We have.
Yeah, Tina's dropped out. Maybe her internet's been shut down.
Yeah. Stitch says
thank you, Stitch. Thank you, Stitch. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
How are you?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. How are you?
Oh, recovering. Hair of the dog is slowly starting to liven me up a bit, but
that's good.
Well, it was better than yesterday.
Right.
We had to break into his flat through the back door to wake him up.
We'll talk about How's Saul, Stitch?
He's upstairs. He's just I don't know if he's watching or not. I don't know.
How's Saul, Stitch?
Hi, Tina.
He's upstairs. He's just
Oh, we've
I don't know
got
if he's watching or not. I don't know.
Hi, Stitch. How you doing?
Somebody's
Okay, thank you. How are you?
Somebody's got another window open in the background. We're getting the feedback. Oh,
Do you know what? It's probably me because I I was being smart. I got my wireless earphones in and I walked outside without my phone and all. And then I just remembered maybe that I shouldn't do that.
But I think it's gone now anyway, so it might have been.
Yeah, it's probably me. Sorry.
Oh.
What are we doing here? Let's have a look. What's going on in
Did
the?
you want that link put in the chat for the weather for ECAS?
Yeah. For what? For the Met check.
Yeah.
I put it in the chat box in the panel.
I was just going to post it in the general chat for you.
I did that already, but you can post it again.
Oh, you've done it, have you?
Yeah, I've done that already.
Well, I've done it again. So.
Well, my friends use it a lot for fishing because of the tides. When they go fishing and stuff, they use it for that. So it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, but it's not. The thing is, I mean, normally a thunderstorm will clear the air. Do you know what I mean? It'll add some moisture to the air so it doesn't feel so muggy. But even after the rain earlier today, it's not really changed anything.
Well,
it's still
that's
really
why I
muggy.
just put a t-shirt on. It has cooled it down here quite a bit. I've even turned the fan off.
I've still got about 21 down here at the minute.
Right,
This room currently is at 28 because of the computers.
One of them fucking see-through things. 24.7.
You need to get that small aircon, Dan, and buy it in now so you can cool your room down. It will cool your equipment.
Yeah. So we used to have, as I was growing up, we used to have a big, we're talking, it was about 18 inches, 2 foot tall, big fucking box thing that we used to sit in the back room of the house. And it was dehumidifier, but it cooled you know, it drew in one side, took the moisture out of the air, and and spat out cooler air from the back. So it was, you know, done, you know, 2 jobs. But those things are bloody expensive. I don't know how, you know, even with the prices going, you know, have gone down for things like that since years ago, since they became a thing. Now everything's more expensive when it first comes out, and after a while the price goes down. But even after, you know, that must. I look at the price of them these days for that size, and I think to myself, how the fucking hell did my mum and dad afford that back then? With,
Oh yeah,
you know,
they were very expensive. But the one I sent you is only £70, and it's from Curry's. That is 2 foot tall by about 1.5 foot wide, and you can put your water in the bottom, and you've got an ice shelf as well. You can put ice in the top, and that is great because if it gets too hot, you just put it on the ice mode, and it literally pours out a mist of ice, cool ice, and it's like, oh my god, I could sit in front of it all day. So yeah.
So what you need for us blokes is an ice tray about waist height.
Well, this is one of the reasons I don't work in catering anymore. One of the reasons I'm glad I said it last.
I got my aircon running in my bedroom 24 hours a day.
Wow.
Plus a fan blowing around.
What's the highest temperature? What's the highest temperature you get there in the Philippines?
I'm not a Celsius guy. I'm a Fahrenheit guy.
Okay.
But I can say like 95, but it feels like 115.
So 95 Celsius, yeah.
Oh, I would just be a wee puddle.
Fahrenheit.
Oh, Fahrenheit.
That's around about 30s or the 40s in Celsius-ish.
Yeah, it's still quite warm because they've also got humidity there, don't you, Jack? You got a lot of humidity.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That place is culture.
Yeah.
Sitting here dying, but like when I'm sitting
down
here, I always have a fan going.
Oh, you got a fan going as well, yeah.
Just put your hand in and give us a wave if you don't want to put your face on camera. It's fine.
Hello.
Hello.
Hiya. Hello. Nice to see you.
Last week. Yeah.
You all
right? Still getting better from last week after what happened.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I'm on antibiotics now.
Oh dear. Well, I hope you were getting better soon, love. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get
I will
there.
be stopping smoking.
Yeah, well done for that. And I'm sorry I'm puffing away.
I know, I'm the same.
Fine. It gives me the opportunity to get over it.
Well done for going 2 days. I know it sounds silly, but 2 days is still a big, big
I've got
step.
kids on Mike.
She's gone off to make a brew now.
The worst part of the NHS when I gave up smoking, what was it, 2013? And I did give up smoking for 12 months, but they offered me a vape and I got chronically unwell with that damn thing. So I put that down. So I bought another vape a year ago. And again, I wasn't aware of the medical issues with those. It causes something called popcorn lung and it crackles. And it actually killed a young girl. She was buying these vapes and putting all the liquids and stuff in. And her lungs just literally was filled with holes. And she died in hospital. She's 32. And she'd gone from non-smoking. And it was the NHS that told her to go on vapes. And she died because they gave her the wrong advice. So they are dangerous if you overuse them. Like anything else, I suppose. But I got a question for the panel. They want you to stop using nicotine. Okay? That's the one thing which is the addictive part of smoking. Get it? Yeah? We all agree? Why are all of the products they give you have got nicotine in it? To come off it.
Well, it's a wean you off, isn't it, apparently?
Well, it doesn't, because they always get the minimum they do in any of their stuff is 12, right? That's the same as smoking a roll-up, okay? It's 12 or something or other, and then it goes up to 32. But they will only sell products to you with nicotine in it. The stuff that I got for this one is just water with natural vanilla in the actual pot. And I still can't use these long-term because it makes my lungs crackly. So I don't want to get into that situation. I'm going to end up in hospital.
There is one out there. There is one out there that literally just gives you a flavour, right? Yeah. There's no vapor.
Yes.
It's the flavour. So you put this thing in your mouth, you puff on it like a cigarette.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
It's just a flavour.
Yes, that's right. But you should always avoid the fake nicotine, because it's not nicotine as we know it, but the chemical nicotine they're putting into these vapes is dangerous. Oh, look at that one. Wow. Is that cigarettes or roll-ups?
It's cigarettes.
That's a really tall cigarette. That's huge.
It's,
Super keen.
I think 100.
Well, I remember the menthol cigarettes, the brown ones, the menthol ones, and they were quite long. And I also remember Russian cocktail cigarettes. Anybody remember those different colours? You had a packet of what they called Russian cocktail cigarettes. They were all vibrant colours like neon greens, pinks, blues.
Tina?
Yeah.
The Russian ones were Sobrani, and the long brown ones were more.
Ah, yeah, they don't sell those now. They're really hard to get.
I only remember years
ones
ago,
I
I remember
remember
Black Cat. That's the only ones I remember
yeah.
from years ago. My mum used to smoke them. I used to nick some off her.
I ended up try quitting cigarettes years ago. So I got the patch.
Yeah.
I broke out in hives. I got allergic reaction. My mom was like, no, stop taking that. So I took them back to the pharmacy, returned them, and in exchange got some cigarettes.
Well done, Jack. Well done. But yeah, it's a choice. And I've got asthma, but when I stopped smoking, I had more chest infections, everything. So after a year, I decided to go to the roll-ups rather than cigarettes, because I never smoked a lot of cigarettes. I only go through about 15 roll-ups per day. It's not a lot, sometimes 10 if I'm busy. But my asthma disappeared. It's gone back down again to the normal since I've taken up roll-ups. So it's not so bad as the cigarettes. But a pack of cigarettes now, anybody know what they cost? I think it's about 12, 13 pounds.
I don't know.
About 15, 16 quid.
Really? Jesus, for 20?
I bought my dad one
Well,
yesterday.
no,
for
you can't buy 20s anymore. It's 19s.
They took a cigarette out and never crossed up.
Yeah.
Well,
Giving 20 was encouraging smoking.
Really? By taking one out?
Mo, it was good to meet you last night. Mate. Thank you so much for coming down and meeting up with us. Genuinely appreciate that. Who else? Oh, Medway. Loafer. Sorry, Loafer's in the house as well at the moment. So hello to Loafer as well.
Hi, Loafer.
Hi, Loafer.
Yeah, fair play, Sean. Sean doesn't smoke. I wish I didn't, but I do. I've tried to give up several times.
Not bloody mentioning it.
I've got a thing in my life, Dan. We're all got issues. I've been through cancer. People said to me, you should stop smoking because you've got the risk of cancer. I've been there, done that, got the video on the freaking t-shirt. I don't care. So it's my life and I'm going to live it my way. So to a lot of you, I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm not here to live a miserable life, not being able to do what I want. So screw everybody else. So yeah. I don't care.
So what, Mo, since you met us last night, you can now tell everyone what arseholes we are.
It's a lifestyle choice. We all got habits that we do in basically overeating, over drinking, alcohol, cigarettes, whatever it is. We've all got habits, but no one else should tell you what to do with your life. It's your choice.
Well said, Tina.
Well, it's like I always say, well, all we can do is like we can't make people do it.
This Lotus, oh my God, I'm jealous. I could lick the screen.
I'd like to have it confirmed, though, Moo.
Yeah, the whole damn box.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pat, what are you saying?
I agree with what Moo said about the smell of cigarette smoke, but to be honest, Moo, I've stood next to people with some of these really sickly bubblegum crap, whatever it is, vapes, and I stink of it and I hate it. It makes me want to vomit. It's like, I could just go away. That really smells.
They blow so big. Like, look at my big dank cloud.
It looks stupid. Yeah, but the funny thing is, you get groups of these kids that hang around street corners thinking they're hard, with their masks, with their hoods up, and and covering their face because they think they're rock hard, and they're smoking fucking candy floss smelling vapes.
It's sickly.
And it just completely negates their intimidating demeanour.
The smell doesn't go with the look.
That's it. I'm going to develop candy floss cigarettes and see if I can.
Oh my God. Oh, look at Dave. Look, poor Dave. I don't drink. I've never smoked, and I couldn't be more unhappy. Oh God. Life is for living, and you should live it to the max the way you want to. If you conform to what they want you to conform to, it would be a very sad society where none of us drink, none of us smoke, none of us eat takeaway. That would be like, ugh.
But this is the thing, though. Nobody should be telling anybody to do anything. We advise people, okay? We advise people that, that might be a bad idea. And if they decide to then go and do that thing, that's entirely on them. And it's the same with anything.
Whatever the F we want to.
Sorry, Jack?
We do whatever the F we want to. We're our own people.
I agree.
People come to me and ask me for advice on certain things. I can't make them do anything, and I've tried. Tina will back me up on this. We've tried to advise some people on some things that can help them from an outside point of view, because when you're the one that's having an issue, it's very difficult to see the wood for the trees, right? But then you go to somebody that can see it from an outside, unbiased view. They give you advice, but you can't force them to take it, and you have to let them make their own decisions, even the bad decisions. And you've got to let them take that path. But I see it exactly the same as the smoking thing. Being forced not to smoke is going to make you go, fuck you, I'm going to have a smoke anyway. Being forced not to drink is going to make you do the same. But then you've also, on the flip side of things, you've got things like the trans issue with children. When people try and push that stuff onto people, and so many people now are turning around and fighting back and going, "Oh, bollocks to you! This is you're trying to force me to think a certain way or to behave a certain way." And
religion.
Nobody likes to be told what to do.
No, they don't. I mean, teenagers growing up. What do we all do as teenagers growing up? If mum and dad said no, we're going to do the exact opposite. We'd do it anyway. So no, you can't do that. We're going to do it anyway.
So all you can do is give somebody the best advice that you can, with the best intentions that you can, and then they've got to go and make, the decision themselves.
Right.
But it's down to medical as well, with all the advice they're giving people about giving this up, giving that up. My great-grandparents ran a farm. They were 99 years old, each of them. They died a year apart. They used to smoke 60 woodbines a day. That's the cigarette without a filter, and a bottle of whiskey between the two of them. And they died of natural causes. So, yeah.
Di,
no cigarette?
Huh?
No filter cigarette?
It's called a woodbine. There was a woodbine cigarette which had no filter in it. So there was no filter in those days. It was just raw tobacco in your mouth. They could smoke 60 a day.
Tobacco in your mouth.
Yeah, 60 a day they smoked each, and they drunk a bottle of whiskey a day, and they died aged 99 years old, and they said it was old age.
Sorry, I just want to respond to this comment from Di, and I'm not picking on you, by the way. I just wanted to respond to your comment. The NHS shouldn't have a choice on who they treat, because we all pay for NHS treatment anyway.
Yeah,
that would be like saying, should a insurance company pay you out if you get robbed, or not? But when you've been paying your premiums for so long, we pay NHS, we pay on NI contributions regardless. Okay. Yes. And therefore we are paying, that is an unwritten contract between the people and the NHS. They take a portion of our wages and benefits. Or income of whatever it is, and therefore they should treat people. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Some people put themselves in situations, but the vast majority of people don't. The vast majority of people, they don't go out of their way to go, oh, let's fuck myself up so I get some some National Health Service care. It happens, it's like my strokes. I've had 5 strokes now. Yes, I do smoke. Yes, I do drink. But you know, the way I see it is, I've paid all my life NI contributions, and therefore I should be treated. I don't drink to excess. I don't smoke. You know, I don't smoke drugs, for example. Yes, I do smoke cigarettes. I wish I didn't, but we can't turn around and say the NHS should be able to decide who to treat or not. Because if we go to that situation, then we're going to end up like America, where you've got to pay thousands of pounds to go and have a baby, because you know we're not paying out of our wages. We've got to pay as and when we use them.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to be able to go. You know, I've sadly had a stroke. You know, some people have strokes and they don't smoke. You know, it can be a condition that happens through no fault of their own, and they might not be able to afford the healthcare, which again is a good thing about the NHS, because we pay all our lives, constant thing, pay all our lives. We might never have to use the hospital. Some people are lucky enough never to have an accident or need the hospital. Some people on the flip side have medical conditions where they need to use them a lot, and as you know, people are paying and not getting their money's worth, so to speak. So why should we leave it down to other people to make a decision as to whether we get healthcare or not? When we're all paying
we pay for the fire service, they don't discriminate against anybody. They'll turn up every time, whether you fucking pay or not.
Also, there's a misconception. There's a misconception in the UK that people on benefits don't pay NI. They do. There's a small contribution everybody pays, including pensioners, those on job seekers, those on ESA. Everybody pays into the NI system. And without that, we wouldn't have an NHS. So I am very grateful for my great-grandparents from the wars that occurred, that they had the knowledge to try and get something set up. Because even after World War II in the beginning, they had to pay. Then the NHS system was set up because a lot of people, after the war, had to rebuild the country. So they went to work at 13 and 14 and gave up their childhood, basically, to help their parents. It's because of them we have the NHS.
You look at what we've got now. We've got the immigrants that have never, ever paid into the fucking system, and they're getting more out of the complete system than any of us.
Yeah.
See, I think, and I've said this for a long time, not so much on the channel, but I've said this to people in person in the past when we've had these discussions. If you're on holiday in America, for example, and you have an accident, now they're not going to turn around and go, "Yeah, we'll treat you for free." Right? I know the system's different over there, but they're not going to say, "Yeah, we'll treat you for free." Right? You still have to pay for your treatment. Okay, go through your insurance. You're still paying for it because you're paying your insurance premiums or whatnot. Over here, lots of people have actually said outright that they come over here for the free treatment, which is an abuse of the process, right? So I think that people come over here for free treatment is an abuse far worse than somebody who smokes or drinks using the NHS, who lives here permanently and who has paid NI contributions all their life. So I think, people come over here, I think it should be that they don't use NHS unless they're a proper resident of this country. They're not allowed to use the NHS system, and they have to pay as though they're going private. They have to have a private.
Wherever us Brits go in the world, they won't let you go unless you've got bloody medical insurance.
That's right. You have to have it. So, and I had American colleagues that worked with me at the local housing authority, and they had their own insurance. And one girl married a British guy, so she had to apply for citizenship, but she could only do so after 5 years of being here. And then she was able to access all systems. But so
in the US, if they get injured or whatever and I need to be admitted, send me a bill in the mail. But I have free health insurance in the US, but here in the Philippines, you're screwed. Also, you don't have traveler's insurance, you're about done. It costs about 12,000 pesos to get admitted into the hospital. That's just admissions, and they charge you for every single thing here. And and you're going to be probably about 250,000 pesos, or if not more, light in your pocket before you can even leave. You have to pay every single peso before you can even leave your hospital bed.
Wow.
Yeah, like having a baby here. Having a baby here, when an American lady came over, she was so scared to go into hospital in labor pains. She came over for a holiday, and it was early labor as well. They took her in, and she was so frightened because she was expecting to pay about $50,000 to have the baby. And it took the midwives about 2 days to convince her that because it was an emergency, it was fine. It was free. They gave it to her free because it was an emergency cesarean because the baby came early. And they didn't charge her for that. But when I worked with a local authority, we had a lot of what we called medical tourists that would come over here to access our health service. And as an officer, it's our job to investigate. We had one guy come over from Spain, and he had to have kidney problems, and he was trying to come here to settle to access the dialysis and everything here. He was rejected, and he was removed from the country. And we've had that several times. They were removed because you cannot come here for medical tourism, they call it. They can't.
No.
But they don't do much about it these days.
I think you could, in a way, I think you could, if you wanted to be a bit more nicer about it, you could turn around and say, if you come over here, you know when you got a pet and you take it to get insured at the vets, right? If it's got pre-existing conditions, some places won't take it on.
Yes.
Right? Some insurance companies won't insure you because they've got a pre-existing condition. Now, I'm not trying to say humans are like animals. If somebody comes over here and they've got a pre-existing condition, okay, and they've come over here for medical treatment, they should have to pay for it. If they come over here and have an accident, and this is just, being nice, if they come over here and they have an accident while they're here, slightly different. It's an emergency at the time, you take them in, you deal with them. I'm not so against that.
No.
But people coming over who need transplants or all sorts of these other things that people come over for from other places just to get the free healthcare and then fuck off home again, that kind of stuff is more of a strain, I think, on the NHS than people like me. I mean, Di's put a statement there. How about seeing everybody else pay for it? How about taking responsibility for yourself, not to put a strain on the NHS? Now, to be honest, Di, you're making yourself sound a bit like a troll, to be fair, but I will answer that question, and the others can give their 2 pence worth as well. But there are people that go throughout life that don't use the NHS, or yes, they go see a doctor and they might need some light treatment, they might need some tablet, whatever, for an infection, but they might never go in a hospital for something serious. Does that mean that because they've taken responsibility for themselves, should they get a refund at the end of their life for the money that they've paid into the NHS? If they're not using it, then why should they be paying for it?
The National Insurance Scheme was brought in for that purpose, to protect you later in life when you get sick, because you've paid all that money in. And it's not just about the hospitals, it's about doctors, dentists, psychiatric work. It's all part of the NHS. There are a lot of organisations that fit into that bubble. So a lot of people that do come here on visas, they bring their own insurance. They're very smart about that. Like my American friend, she brought in her own insurance. So essentially she came with that for the first 5 years. And a lot of the students coming over now, they've got their own health insurance. So if you want to come and live here and settle, you have to do more than 5 years working and studying in this country, and you might be allowed to settle. Then you can actually apply for British citizenship if you're going to stay. So, yeah.
It's like,
I like that one, Dave.
It's like some people will fly from I don't know, the Saudi area or India or whatever. And fly over to the U.S. and the wife is pregnant AF, get ready to pop any minute. So once that baby is delivered in the hospital in the U.S., it's the U.S. citizen.
Yeah, I think it's, what is it about you? If I'm wrong, Jack, in the US, it's about $2,000 to get an ambulance to pick you up.
Wow.
It depends on the miles and how many miles they have to take you to get to the hospital.
Yeah, because I watched a program on it. They were asking the English what they thought about an asthma inhaler. Basically, was $200. An EpiPen was for diabetes was about I think $800, and it was like people were over here when I got smacked.
EpiPen is about $600.
Wow.
But it's not for diabetes. It's for
Oh, that's for the What's the diabetic jab pen? That one's very expensive.
I need to buy one here because I need one. Because there's a lot of bees around here, and I don't like.
I don't like bees either. I'm with you. I'm with you on that, Jack. I don't like bees. I'm allergic as well.
The bees here look kind of cool because they're like black with blue stripes.
I don't get that close to see one. I just run the other way. Oh yeah, fly swat.
I got a spray here, right here.
I think that question that Dice. Oh wow, the question that Dice put up, I'd like to answer there, Dan. We are a country that assists people. If we're in a system where everybody pays, why should we take responsibility for others abusing their lifestyle? So what do you call abuse? Somebody who likes takeaways. What do you call abuse? Somebody who likes to go on long walks, sprains an ankle, breaks a leg. So what is abuse in your mind? How can it be abuse if it's their lifestyle?
Somebody entering your country in the wrong mindset, like illegally, you know?
Well, we do have to, yeah, unfortunately, that is something that really annoys most of us. So with the illegal immigrants coming in, but they do need treatment if they're here. They have to treat them, but that's our standard in the NHS. That is a standard we follow.
Showed up on lorries and stuff.
And as regards what Dave said about the money is wasted in the NHS because they've got departmental managers rather than the matrons that used to run the service, and they waste money like water on crap. For instance, an office chair like one behind me. So this cost me £70 on eBay. Comfortable chairs, even got a pull-out leg rest. You want to get a chair for a pregnant lady in the hospital, you have to order it through a special catalogue. £800 for a chair.
Sorry, Tina, can I just answer some questions that are coming up there in the chat? For those of you that are saying we're a strain on the system for smoking and drinking, you do realise that we pay a lot more fucking tax than you do for the privilege of doing that.
Oh, well said, Roger. Well said. If everybody stopped doing it, stop smoking, stop drinking, stop going to McDonald's, stop going to Burger King to lead a healthy lifestyle, what's going to happen to the companies? It would be a total collapse of business.
There's collapse. The government would lose out on massive amounts of tax. Massive amounts of tax. And the problem that we have is the government are the ones that are mismanaging the money that they receive.
Mm-hmm.
Like this money that they've sent to Ukraine, for example, billions of pounds. You know, that's not our fucking fight. You know, this is because the UN wants to set up on the doorstep of Russia. It wants to set up a United Nations company on the doorstep of Russia. Okay.
No, Greg, I don't have any idea what other people pay in tax, but if you're all equal, it doesn't matter what you're earning. If you don't smoke and I do, I'm paying extra tax on whatever I earn, no matter how much it fucking is.
Yeah.
Well, we pay tax on the cigarettes, tax on the alcohol.
Yeah, so this thing, as I say, this thing with Ukraine and Russia, for example, this has only started because the UN wants to set up shop on the doorstep of Russia. Okay, any country, if somebody's gonna, if an opposing force wants to set up on your doorstep, you're gonna have an issue with it. Okay, and I understand that. Whether it's right or wrong is not my argument. I'm just saying I understand that, but our government are getting involved in a situation that I don't believe is anything to do with us, and they're giving them, billions of pounds. That billions of pounds could have been put to use to homeless vets. It could have been put to the NHS, which is struggling. It could have been put, they found all this money to give away, and we get no benefit from that. Or it's our money that we've paid, and it's being given away. It's being sent out of the country, so it's coming out of our economy. And they could have put that to use to actually support and help the people of this country. Now, that is an issue that I could get behind, right, dealing with. But to say that, about taking responsibility for yourself, some people have addictions, might not be their fault. Are you saying that because somebody's got an addiction because of something that's happened to them in their life, do you think that they should just be allowed to left to die and not have treatment, even though they have been paying their taxes and their NI contributions over their life?
The other thing
here they call it a syntax.
Oh, syntax. Oh.
And alcohol.
And beer. Wow. Syntax.
I'm
That's
like,
that
really?
it sound like really bad. But again, Dan, I agree with you for the reason I believe if the United Nations want to do what they want to do, this is the United Nations around the world. Instead of individual countries paying this like we've done, we shouldn't be. It should be coming from the United Nations pot. That's it. They should be paying. They want it, they should pay.
Yeah.
Sex tax.
Yeah. Can you look back at Medway protest posts about Welsh Health Board?
Right.
Say that again, sorry. Vet.
Medway Hospital protest comments about the health board that's being investigated in Wales.
Oh, for financial irregularities, that one.
Yeah. Mark, your Mark. I can't remember his name. What's his name? The leader of Welsh government.
Mark Dripford.
Yeah, he's under investigation for quite a bit actually. So,
yeah. It's our local health board, Betsy Cadwallader.
Daft.
Yeah, it's been under special measures from the Welsh government for about 5-6 years now.
Wow.
And it's actually the CEOs have been skimming money out the NHS, out the trust's budget.
Oh Jesus.
And they've took close to £1 million, if not more.
It happens everywhere, to be honest. We had it down here with, I think it was Northampton. They built a £53 million new council building without notifying the people they're supposed to represent, and they went bankrupt a month later. Just wasted money.
Talk about financial mismanagement. Gary's just said here, £19 billion is created through smoking alone. The NHS costs around $11 billion a year.
There you go.
So again, going back to mismanagement of money, right? If the tax that are put on things that are bad for us, if that tax solely went to the NHS, for example, or it was split between things that might be needed for people that do that activity, then there'd be more money there. The government don't. The government take all of that money. They keep, as much as they want for themselves and maybe give a small portion of that particular income source to the NHS. They should pay it all to the NHS. If drinking is bad for you, so why the government taxing you to line their own pockets on drink? They should be using that money to go towards rehabilitation and
something positive.
So
yeah, we used to have lots of cafes. There was a non-alcoholic cafe. They would support alcoholics, take them through rehabilitation. That got scrapped by the council. We had tobacco places. We had mental health cafes. The council shut those down and refused to give them a license. So you've got lots of people that need that care who are not getting it. Mental health across the UK is crap. The services that are there, they're not able to access. And they're still paying for the national insurance, but they still can't access the service. We've got 3 major units in my town, and you can't even get into the psychiatric unit. Even the police are being turned away, where psychotic patients are being told to go to North Devon because they won't let them in. They're not prepared to do their jobs. And yet we've reported it to the General Medical Council, and they're not doing anything about it. So this is where the money gets wasted.
In the US, like if the police feel that the person that's like deranged or like doing crazy things, like seems like psychotic or whatever, they call it a 5150, which gives them a right to take the person to the hospital, and they have to spend 3 days in there to be evaluated.
Yeah. I know it's difficult in a lot of countries with mental health, but I mean, we've got a hospital here for mental health. 200 staff work there, but they will not see any mental health patients during the day when they're supposed to. None of the CPNs will talk to their patients.
What the hell?
And we're still paying their wages.
Can I change the subject very briefly? Tiffany here. It's getting all embarrassed now. Obviously, my birthday was on Friday. We went out last night, but Tiffany here has spent an awful lot of time, a year, I think it is, just over a year, making something for me in her spare time, and I wanted to show it to everybody because I think
that's lovely.
Right.
That's lovely, Tiffany.
Oh,
done that.
wow.
Oh, wow.
That's perfect, Tiff. Well done. Well done, girl. You took so much time to do that.
It
Brilliant.
is absolutely incredible, and I've put it up next to my logo, and it is spot on, absolutely spot on.
You need to
And
get a
it's-
frame for it, Dan. Put it in a frame.
Yes, yeah, I'm gonna.
That is
She
beautiful, Tiff.
She also made me.
Very talented.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
I do like my skulls, as you know. I've got one there,
Aye.
and I've got.
I'm quite partial to mine as well.
I got one skull here.
That's excellent.
So she made me this resin one, which is.
You need a bigger one, Dan.
I do. That's what she said.
You need to get a bigger one.
You're getting short up.
But yeah, just wanted to change the subject there. I just remembered it, and
I was aware she was working on it, and I didn't know how far she got, but that's turned out stunning.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
has.
lot of time. Beautiful.
Well done, Tiffany.
I can't do fiddly stuff like that, like needlework. When I was at school, they used to say you got to go into needlework classes. I was like, no, knitting, no. So I chose woodwork, metalwork, all the carpentry stuff. You can't do that. You're not a boy. I said, oh, get stuffed. I'm doing it anyway. I'm not sitting there with a pair of knitting needles.
Who's
How you
just
doing?
dropped out?
Okay.
Who's just
No, it's because I had a comment on the screen, and I took the comment off, and it
Yeah,
moved.
so I didn't want to do girly things. My mum tried. I'm left-handed, so trying to teach someone left-handed to do knitting is nigh on impossible. So they gave up. So I did all the boys' stuff, and like when we got to high school, the girls were supposed to go to a ballet class, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to the football match, and it was Liverpool youth versus Arsenal. I want to go to Wembley. You can't do that. You're a girl. I said, I'm still going. I'm not going no ballerina. Sod that. So me in a tutu. No thanks.
In the US, we don't use the word stunning.
You have to be able to choose what you want to do in life, but they had those targets back in my day that boys did this, girls did that. I did bricklaying, plastering, everything. Learned all the skills I wanted, learning how to use power tools. So when I got married, my old hands yeah. Well, my husband,
someone slotted Jack.
no, he's still there.
Yeah, he's there somewhere. Jack, give us a wave.
Hiding. Where you to, Jack? Hello.
He's falling
I think
asleep.
Jack's sleeping.
Yeah, I am a bit tired today, to be honest.
He's a bit tired, yeah. Yeah, so when I wanted to do all those things, I got lots of opposition from the teachers, from the school head. You can't do that. I said, I'm going to do it anyway, whether you like it or not. So when I got married, my husband, I had a beautiful toolkit set, like Stanley case. He said, oh, do you know how to use it? I went, yeah, don't you? You're a man. He didn't even know how to use a drill.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. That's like, wow, a grown man can't use a drill.
Working circles around him.
He was a decorator by trade, Jack, honestly, and he didn't decorate once in my house, but he had the damn cheek to stand there and say you missed a bit. He got splashed so many times with paint when he opened his mouth. I can assure you. He missed a bit.
I was talking to a copper the other week, and I sat on the bench and I went, oh shit, what the hell's that? And pulled out a chuck key from the drill out of that pocket.
Oh, wow.
He said, what's that? And he went, I said, a chuck key. And he went, well, what's that for? And I went, what do you mean, what's it for? He said, what do you think it's for? I said, oh, I don't know. I said, it's for a drill, to change the drill bit. I said, do you not put shelves up or anything? He went, oh, no, I get my dad to do that. Copper.
Yeah, I know. Get well soon, Mark.
Sorry to hear that, Mark.
Yeah, get well soon, dude.
They've got the key chucks anyway, have they? They just got twist ones.
They do now, yeah. Yeah, they do.
It depends on the electric, because the electric is the power.
I bought myself a cordless screwdriver now. Yeah, I've got a cordless screwdriver to put up shelves.
Oh.
My cousin brought me his electric drill. No chuck key.
No, yeah, they just twist ones.
And
yeah.
it's completely stripped. I'm like, how do you do this?
Mole grips.
So I had to go to the store and buy a new one. And he took it and lost it. I'm like,
yeah.
Really? How the do you do this? You know?
I've now taken to gaffer taping my chuck key to the drill cord.
Well, yeah, because it's a bit dangerous to have it in your back pocket. That would have done any damage. So yeah.
I think I've been putting a curtain rail up or something like that and just put it in my pocket when I change the drill a bit quick.
Yeah. We all make mistakes like that, don't we? So yeah. But I used to do lots of decorating as well for friends and stuff when I could. That was about 20 years ago. And I just did a wallpaper and a little bit of I can't do a lot of plastering because that's heavy work. But I do patching. But I was pretty good at it. But I couldn't do a whole wall because that takes a lot of work. Because I used to use the mortar and hawk. But yeah, so I would only do small parts of it. But I can't decorate now, and it frustrates the crap out of me. I got to ask someone else. So
I'm putting shelves up for my models in my room.
Oh, nice.
Because I've got a World War I trench map on the wall and World War I poster. So I'm putting pine shelves around it.
Oh, nice. That'll look nice.
Mm.
You need space.
Yes.
It's kind of a little bit not clean, but I broke this. My kitchen island.
Oh, is it an island in the kitchen?
It looks lovely.
Kitchen island.
That's nice. Yeah.
There's lights. There's actually I'll turn the lights on.
Go on. Show us your handiwork.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's nice and cozy.
Nice.
There's
Has it got a light on each side?
There's 6 lights all. Oh, I'm pointing the wrong direction. All the way around, and there's 3 outlet receptacles, and one of them in the middle, in the front, has a USB. Yeah, 2 USBs on it. And the other ones are regular, and this one's got the switch for the lights. No, I don't know, mood lighting.
Looks like you've got a wall over there that needs
Lovely.
What's wrong with that outlet, Jack? Over on the wall, to the left of your door behind you, it looks like you've got a electric outlet there that's not fixed to the wall properly.
It's fixed. It's there.
It's wide.
Optical illusion, maybe.
It's But the weird thing is that there's 2 electric panels in this house. I don't understand it because back home in the US, you have 1 panel downstairs and it controls everything.
So you're talking about the fuse box.
Fuse box.
Yeah. So where the main electricity comes in, and you can, turn the lights off by the lights and all that stuff. And you've got 2 in where you are now.
There's 1 upstairs in the hallway, so it's independent. I don't understand why.
Somebody was being very lazy that day.
This man was a fucking idiot.
Is there someone in the back room, Dan?
In the back room?
Rhino Gator?
Oh, I don't know. No, I can't see any. Oh,
they said hi.
Yeah, no, somebody popped in, but they didn't have a camera on.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
And because it's not somebody that I've spoken to before.
Brilliant, that is. I saw that. That's fantastic. Look at that. That is so cool. I would not have the patience.
Is that World War I or World War II?
It's a World War II Panzer tank made into an elephant sort of thing.
Wow.
That's weird, that is, but it looks cool.
It looks something like Star Wars, doesn't it?
Yes.
Perhaps that's where they got the Star Wars thing from, where the stormtroopers bring those things in which stomp all over you.
That's basically what it was. If you look at the elephant tank, the German elephant tank from World War II, it's exactly the same body shape.
Wow.
And then you put a turret on the front.
Get in. That's where Star Wars got the design, I'm telling you.
Most likely.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Good night.
looks like Star Wars and World War One had a love child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Jack, mate, sleep well and happy birthday for football.
Good night, Jack.
Good night, Jack.
I'll miss you
Good
so
night, Jack.
Take care, buddy.
Good night, Jack.
By the way, if I'm looking up here constantly, it's because I'm watching the chat on my telly.
Yeah, that's all good. It's all good. Hiya, Howler. Hope you're well.
Yeah, that was another thing I was disappointed in the
Yeah.
hotel as well. No porn channels on the TV.
That's what
No,
I'm listening this for.
none at all, Roger. That's shocking.
None.
Whatsoever. What's going on in this world?
I hate
Bloody
Capel Curry.
shocking.
That's where we went to training. And I came off a mountain bike going downside the hill doing nearly 20 mile an hour. And I
Wow.
bounced down the road on my head.
Oh,
And
God.
I was unconscious for about 5 minutes. And my mate had picked me up, carried me to the side of the road, and we were sat there. And I woke up, sat up, and he was covered in my blood.
Oh, no.
No way.
Wow.
Because there was no way off the mountain, so I had to walk down the mountain.
Oh, God.
You alright?
Are they stuffing their faces behind you, Dan?
They are indeed.
Did they
They
get
did
you
ask-
some?
No, they did ask me if I wanted something, but I've not been hungry today. So I had a bit of Tiffany's mum made. I'm going to embarrass you again now. Tiffany's mum made a corned beef and potato pie.
Oh, nice.
Basically a quiche, like a huge
Yeah.
cheese and bacon quiche thing.
Wonderful.
Not cheese, sorry, egg and bacon. And it was absolutely beautiful. So we had that for dinner night before last.
Yeah.
So munching it throughout the day as well. He's got I think he's got worms.
Iron through is eating Mackies.
Yeah.
He eats at 2 o'clock in the morning, mate. Stuart, he does have worms.
He's a weird one, that
It's a
Stuart.
wonder he's still a midget.
Yeah, he's growing that way rather than that way. Bit like me.
Yeah.
The Jockey's Mafiosa.
Excuse me.
Dan, did I ever tell you about the Scottish lad that was on pre-deployment training with us?
And I don't think so.
We had to go and do some pre-deployment training down in Nottingham. And there was me and a couple of other REME lads that were there to go to Iraq. There was a company of infantry lads going out to Afghan. And in the auditorium, they said, oh, welcome to the course and everything. Who's going to Iraq? So we put our hands up. And they said, who's going to Afghan? The other lads put their hands up. And we said, who's going out somewhere else? And this one Scottish lad put his hand up. He said, me. And he said, where are you going? He went, Glasgow. And he went, what?
Wow.
Yeah, you probably need your body armour there as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Mark. Love you too.
Kind of you, the kind comment. Thank you.
The Pat family's great. I love the Pat family. So different, each individual.
Cult. We're a cult.
Would you just call
No,
me?
you're not.
Apparently we are.
You probably agree with that if you saw us all last night.
Well, what does she keep saying? We're 77 PSYOPs brigade. That's what we are. We're spying on her and doing stuff.
We just hate
Who says
the
that?
It's ordinary, everyday folks having a good time chatting on Dan's channel. That's all it is. And there's always one that's going to be upset by that. So,
Have you noticed the way the chats panel's set up? We're going in order of hair loss from me down to Dan. My line's going down. I've just realised that.
it's been set up well, hasn't it?
Oh. Let's put you up there then, just for that.
We need to swap Jack with Tina, I think. Then it'll work.
You put the black guy in the corner.
We're gonna give about another 40 minutes. It's not gonna be like normal where we go on till 6 o'clock in the morning. Roger's knackered, I'm knackered. And obviously my health I've got to consider, so I will be getting off in about 40 minutes and getting a fucking bed as soon as possible.
I don't know what fucking time it is.
You know you're gonna wake up with Sonic staring at you. Just standing in that tiny
bed just
with his mohawk.
He wasn't impressed with me last night. I kept pressing his mohawk down like that. Kept flattening it.
What blade time is it there in UK?
10:20 p.m.
10:20.
Yeah.
Yep. On another subject, Dan, I think Lofa put it up in the chat earlier about dementia homes cost a lot of money. I've now had to reach a family decision on my mother. They can no longer sustain her in the family home, so we've got to reach a decision with social services on where she's going to go. She's now becoming violent towards my brother and sister, so we had to make the decision now to put in a nurse. She's just turned 87 on Saturday. And it is getting really bad. So I don't live there, but I get talks about it and video chats with the family. And it's hard for my brother and sister to cope with it.
I looked after my mother-in-law, me and my husband, and she turned violent with me. And I was like, oh my God, she was really pulling my hair and everything.
Yeah. She's throwing things. She's trying to bite, even though she hasn't got any teeth. She's throwing punches. She's spitting. So the dementia's taken a hold. So now she's going to go for nursing home. It's a hard decision for us to do, but she needs to be somewhere where she can be kept safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's also my brother and sister's sanity.
Because it really knocked me. I was like, oh my God, but it was a part of her condition,
Yes, the dementia's come on quite quickly. She was diagnosed with early dementia in September last year, but now it's coming very fast.
Mark, I don't know who you are, mate. I don't know who you are, but fuck you.
Something good to say.
What did they put in?
Euthanize.
Oh, Jesus. That's disgusting.
I don't normally listen. I very rarely kick people from this channel. Very rarely. And I understand that people have an opinion, and that I might not agree with, and they're entitled to those opinions. But when somebody's talking about something like this, and somebody pops up and says something like that is overstepping the mark. That's not even a warning comment. That is a see you later comment.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Dan.
My dad passed away at 80 years old.
What we can't give her at home is 24-hour care. Right. So the benefits of a dementia home, we've got 3 in mind. They give her total 24-hour care with nursing. She's got bingo there. She can do games. They have hairdressers going in. Right. She's got a community she can sit and talk to the same age. It's going to be a big difference to her. She might not like it to start with, but she's going to have company. My brother and sister do part care. My sister does the morning. My brother does the afternoons and evenings. They share the care. I go down occasionally to see what's going on. But she has got gradually worse. And to say euthanize, I mean, if I ever saw you in the street and you said that to me, I'd punch your lights out. Everybody has a right to life, no matter how it's ended. They have the right to go gracefully, not somebody taking their life.
Stephen's mum, we looked after her for about 12 years or something. She didn't get it at home. Stephen, my husband, who's now dead, he looked after her. He done everything for her. He got but 3 years after she died, he died. It was as if he gave up.
It probably could have been a lot of built-up stress with that.
Well, before that, we had my daughter. She was only 16 when she was killed. So we 2 years had that stress on our mind,
Yeah, sorry to hear that, Kathy.
Yeah.
You're a strong woman, though. You're a strong woman, young lady.
I don't know. I'm just myself. I've got to be.
No, you're a strong lady.
I've got to be. I've not
the thing is, you never get over stuff like that. You never get over stuff like that. It's like
no, my daughter still. can't believe my daughter. I still expect her to walk in the door, you know.
Yeah,
We adapt. We adapt
And
to live.
there's never
what's
been any closure because I was never told what happened. I've never been told what happened to her. You know what I mean? I know a bus was involved, a fence was involved, and teenagers were involved. That's all. I don't know anything else. I've just been left to guess.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, isn't it? We
And
don't
I've
get
been
the truth.
asking. I've been asking now. I've asked about 2 or 3 times different lawyers. They'll not touch it. They all say, "Oh, you've got a case, but it's time barred." I'm like, "What's time barred? My daughter's dead."
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've never
Sorry you've
heard
gone
anything
through
like
that.
that in my life. But I
Yeah.
have to live with it. You know what I mean? Sorry, guys.
No, don't be sorry. Look, as I say, we never get over something like that. I mean, I've been quite lucky, right? The people that have died in my life, I've not been close to yet. Okay, none of my family have died. My mum and dad's still alive.
Right.
I've been very lucky in that respect. And the people that have died, my real sister, for example, I'm fostered. Right,
Yeah.
so my real sister, I met her in my early 20s, and I only knew her for about a year and a bit, and she took her own life. But I wasn't close to her, so I went to her funeral, and I didn't really feel anything because I didn't know her. Do you know what I mean? And I feel bad for that. I feel bad that I didn't feel anything, but it's just the way it goes. But for people like yourself who have lost people close to you, I do get it. I do understand it. Like the whole mourning thing, because I've had to go through mourning for other things. You know, the loss of.
I can't believe.
People with animals, but. For example, I was, you know, I had to mourn when Smudge died. I know that sounds really stupid, but that's the closest.
No, it should be cat.
That's the closest I've got.
You should be cat. You should boy.
And I don't mean to trivialize the fact, you know, that people dying is far worse than an animal dying in many cases. You know? So I don't want to trivialize that, but we have to. We never get over it, but we learn to live with that feeling.
Well, I can't believe it's been 17 years since she was killed. I can't believe it. I'm still stuck in 2005. I mean, it sounds strange, but I'm still living in 2005. You know? And I wonder where all these what that's 2023. My God, I wonder where all the years went.
Well, I can't believe you're old enough to. I can't believe you're old enough to have had a child that you know that.
She'll be 30. She's my youngest. I've got a boy who'll be 40 in December.
Really? You don't look old enough, Gabby.
I'm 58.
You don't look old enough, darling.
I'm 58. I was 58 in March.
Wow.
Aye.
I've got a son who's 40 this year. My daughter's 38.
That's
and I've got stepkids as well. But I'm also a mother and a grandmother and great-grandmother as well.
Oh, there's a story about my grandson. Oh, my God. I couldn't believe it. 6 years after my daughter died, or was it 10 years after? 10 years after my daughter died, my son and his girlfriend had a wee boy, and he was beautiful. We went up to see him every day for 6 days, and on the 6th day, they tell her, "You're not getting your son. We're taking him, social workers." And we went, "I saw you." So we took him home, took him to my mum's.
Wow.
And the next minute, the post or whoever it was plain clothed, all came into the house. A Pakistani woman was there. She was a social worker. Give baby now. And me, the mammy wasn't even there. They took her in the hospital and they kept her there. They imprisoned her. And my husband was looking after his mum. So he was all worried about his mum. And I'm saying, I'm not getting the win because it was his mum that gave me him. Away he's go. They stole that wee son out of my arms. And
Sorry, Gabby.
Between them since.
Gabby, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Jack.
Yeah.
I gotta take off.
Okay, mate. No worries.
Okay, mate. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for jumping on.
Nice seeing you.
Hopefully, I'll see you on your next live stream.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Catch you
Take
soon.
care, mate. See you later. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
I'm sorry. When I get started, oh my God, I
No,
don't talk.
don't be.
I don't
Listen,
talk
don't be
for
scared.
weeks.
It's memories you need to share because it helps to talk about it, Gabby. It really does help sometimes.
Well,
Although you're frustrated.
I can't believe it. They stole in Glasgow. It was Glasgow City Council stole my daughter as well, and they also stole my grandson. And they says to my daughter-in-law, I'm a no-go zone when it comes to the grandson. I have to get, and if I get near him, he's put into care.
What's that noise in the background?
I think it's coming from Stitch or
Oh, is it me? I'm sorry. I'll turn my. Oh, do you want me to go?
Earphones again.
No, go. You don't have to go.
No, go near. Go near.
Yeah, I've got my phone literally in my hand. I don't know what's going on. Is that better?
Aye.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, it's probably the wind. It was probably because I'm out of sun now, so it's probably the wind.
It could have been something like that. Yeah, no worries.
Shouldn't have so many curries.
Aye, so that's my story with the councils and that. I can't believe them.
But they do a lot of the time, Gabby, with families. They destroy families just because they can.
I was already destroyed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was, and they took my grandson right out of my arms.
I think the 60s and the 70s for young parents was a hard time when I was growing up because they would take kids at random, and it was because they had adopted parents waiting for them. They just dive in. You've done this. We're taking the child with it. Within months, the child was adopted.
Right.
So,
yep,
it was sad.
And they're still fighting in court for them. God love them. I mean, I couldn't handle it. My husband, he tried to fight for them in court, but he died, and he's still fighting for them. I get told it was a conflict of interest.
They'll make up anything.
Aye.
I had a young client who was a social care child herself.
Aye.
She was 17. She got pregnant. We put her into a special baby unit called the Grapevine, and it was lovely. She had her own little flat. She bought loads of beautiful clothes ready for the baby.
Aye.
And then we moved her to temporary accommodation, which was her own independent unit for the baby to arrive. She had the baby, and I get a call the next morning saying that social services had gone in late at night and snatched her child. And I'm like, what? So I looked into it, and there was no warrant from a court. So we got a solicitor involved.
Any paperwork.
That's right.
I asked her, there was a woman was there, and she was dressed in a uniform thing, but you know what I mean, like an officer.
Yes.
And I says to her, how do you know have PTSD? How do you know suffer with post-traumatic stress disorder? And she says, we're not emotionally involved.
Well, they usually send the police for social workers to take the child. 2 police officers turned up. We had a court case the next morning, which I attended on my day off. And they were told, the social services were told to bring that child back to its mother because they had no warrant to enter that house and take that child. All concerns.
I should have fought more, but I didn't have it in me. I collapsed when they took him. I wasn't right for weeks. I wasn't right.
She was a great mum. Everybody said she was a great mum.
She would be a great mum as well. But I think now because of what they've done, she likes a drink.
The trouble is, people assume when they see social workers with the police that they've automatically got an order. They don't. They've got to go in front of a judge for a warrant to seize that child.
But we should have our grandson in our lives. My mother-in-law, she died on the August. And my grandson was born in the June. So we were like that's God's way saying, right, she's moved out, now move the wee man in. And we never get a chance to date. My husband died while he was fighting for him.
Well, I became a grandmother at 34 with stepchildren. So I've got 10 grandkids and 3 great-grandkids. So I was 34 when I became a grandma.
Aye,
loved
it. I was 40. And my son's got a daughter, but I don't see her either because it was too hard after my daughter was killed, which is terrible. But I can't. She looks like. and I can't handle it.
Hiya, Loafer.
Hi, Loafer.
Good evening, folks. How's my sound?
Your microphone is at a decent level today.
Yeah.
I figured out what my
It
settings
looks like
are.
he's lifted his head.
I have to constantly adjust my settings when I put my headphones on. I was backstage earlier, but I nipped out to readjust them to make sure everything was okay.
Oh, I didn't see you pop in.
No, it's okay. I was like literally there 30 seconds. I thought I'd better go and check my levels first.
Right.
You sound good, mate.
Well
Oh,
done,
brilliant.
mate.
How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, apart from the fact that around about a month's worth of rain fell in an hour on Sheffield.
Right,
Really?
getting the new.
Damn.
Yeah.
Aye, the rain's falling here the now.
That's a lot of rain.
Yeah, and the people down in Catcliffe, down at the bottom end of the river, they can't get house insurance anymore because they're floods regularly.
Yeah.
I think they'll have to mutate and grow gills or something. I feel sorry for them. Every time it pours down, I think Ben poor buggers down at Catcliffe.
Sean, we don't have a Welsh Assembly anymore. It's a Welsh Parliament. It changed 3 years ago.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. But you get lots of floods in Wales too, Mike, don't you? There's lots of floods when the water comes down heavy because you get a lot of rain there. I got a friend who lives in Pencader, and he said if it starts to rain heavy, the whole area floods very quickly. So
in some areas, it's that bad that when I was in high school,
Heather's just gone out to stand in the rain. It's pissing down out there.
there's a
And use up the valleys as well.
And if it has rained, they would look at who was from that area and they just wouldn't expect me.
yeah. It does rain very heavy in Wales.
I would gel out.
But I do love Wales. It's a beautiful country. I used to love backpacking up there. It's stunning. Absolutely stunning country.
Where I live, if we walk 5 minutes down the hill, we're on the coast. And if we go 10 minutes up the road, we're in the hills.
Wow.
Oh, beautiful.
See, I couldn't do that now, mate, with my legs. I couldn't go up the hills now, so I'd have to get electric scooter or something to go up the hill.
Well, you're not too far from a safe place then when the biblical flood comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tina, if you go on Google and look up the Duke of Lancaster ship, that's down the road from me.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I can see it from our house.
Get in. I love the Welsh Valley Railway that goes up the mountains. Oh,
Yeah.
I've done that train ride so many times. Like, oh, this is so pretty. So just going back and up and down and back. So it's so pretty. It really is. But my favourite place up there is Abergavenny.
Yeah.
I love that place. It's so cute up there. So and the people are so friendly.
My favourite place is Llanberis, definitely. It's got to be. I spent many a summer down there. I used to go rock climbing. My mountaineering and climbing club had a hut down at Vernal Arms, right across the pub car park, just up the road from Llanberis. It was the bottom of the Llanberis Pass, so you had Snowdon behind you, and if you went up the pass, you had Dinas Cromlech and Dinas Mott, some really good rock climbing crags up there. But it's all behind me now. Not done that since I got married. Not been climbing for 20 years.
Couldn't do it now.
Mark,
all right, guys.
All right,
so. Nice, Saul.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys? All right.
I'm good, Saul.
You've recovered, Pap, Danny.
Hair with a dog is helping.
Yes.
Who are just put in the chat when the biblical floods come, there will still be a hosepipe ban.
That's true. That's very true.
The issues of those that want to build an ark is how many of each fucking species have you got to put on to keep the natural balance nowadays?
Yeah. You ever seen them pictures in children's books of the ark? You know, you get them.
It'll be like 14 by 14. Oh, that one needs 16. Fucking
I can tell you how to sort the human side of that out. No problem, Rog. You just ask everyone who wants to come on, can men give birth? If they say yes, they don't come on.
Yeah. It is a crazy world we live in. And I saw that post earlier about should the police stop these transgender people going into libraries and do something about that. They're not going to because they've made it legal to do that. So
Well, I think it was more about should social services look into the parents that allow
no,
children
they,
to
they
go.
can't because it's become legal. It's not unlawful to go and see the storytellers.
Ricky, sorry, let me just interrupt very quickly. Ricky, my man. First things first, I've got you left your bag in the pub on the windowsill. I brought it home, so I've got it. We need to arrange for me to hand that back over to you at some point, mate. So I'm glad you've jumped on.
He got locked up for drunk and disorderly.
I missed that. You got.
Hey, look. He got locked
For
up for
goodness'
drunk and disorderly.
What happens?
Sorry, guys, I got locked up for drunk and disorderly.
Yeah, you were so calm in the pub. What happened? What?
Oh.
Oh dear.
Greg's asked in the chat, what is a woman? A human biological female is able to reproduce. That's what a woman is.
A woman has a woman is somebody that has XY chromosomes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
I can't
women
remember.
going through the menopause can't reproduce. So what you said would be stop being women. Which isn't true.
Some shit like the other day. Some guy was screaming, like going on that men menstruate. I'm like, dude, I mean, it's getting like the fucking planet's gone mad. Yeah,
It has, so I agree. There are some.
Gone mad.
There are some employers now, if you have a transgender, if they say they've got period pains, they get time off work for having period pains.
Yeah.
I'll just answer. Let me just answer Moo's question there. What is a good woman? It's a myth.
Well, don't go down that road, Dan. That's
Well,
really
I've got my reference book out here.
Going to get some flack on that one.
Got my reference book here. Dan, with your permission, I'll show you my little dick. I'll show you my little dick. I've got my reference book out. Got my little dick here. Look, there we go. Adult human female. Well, it costs a little dick. So I've only got a little dick. I've got a bigger one upstairs.
But it's crazy that employers are now changing the rules to actually allow these people to take time off they can't do. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Nikki, the same answer. It's a myth.
Well, the period pain is in their heads, right? Think about it. They're saying they've got pain, they've got period pain, so they're imagining it. Well, I think they must be imagining they're women. They're not right.
No.
They're not right. They hate there's something wrong with them, and they should be.
When they say that they've got period pain and that,
aye,
I reckon it's because of all the drugs and stuff. It's fucking them up on the inside.
Aye, it's messing them, getting them sore stomachs. Aye, they are in pain.
Wow, Dan's broke the matrix.
For periods.
Pain in the fucking brain, if you ask me.
It is, and they need to be treated. They need to be treated like as such. And nobody, I give them a hard time. We all give them a hard time. We shouldn't give them a hard time. We should fucking help them. Oh, excuse me, that is a bad word. We should give them a horn. And if they can't, if they're not willing to take a horn, then I'm sorry, then we need to put them down.
Okay, Mark.
Good night, Mark. Good night, Mark.
I hope you're feeling better, mate.
Buddy.
There has always been different people around the world. I respect anybody who wants to choose what they want to be, male, female, transgender, whatever they want to be, as long as they don't try and stop who I know I am. I'm a human biological female, and that offends some people. I don't care if it offends you. Do something about it, because I'd love to see the court case. That's my choice. That's who I am. Okay. You
This
do
is
what
why
you want. I'll do what I want.
This is why I refuse to use the word cis.
No, I don't. No, I just hate that.
That's
Hate
just
that.
a made up.
Man.
That sounds like something out of Star Wars now.
A normal man.
Or cis female is absolute bollocks, right?
I'm waiting for the day when somebody asks me my gender.
Really? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Come on, tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is the words they're coming up with, because you're not supposed to object to what they're saying. You can't choose what you want to be, but you've got to tell them what they want to be, like him, she, they, them. So it's like, really? No.
It's Mick Hucknall's fat cousin.
I've upset a few.
You notice though that the male to females are the ones that are always making a noise about like, you know, born females, but you don't really hear that coming from men. You know, ones from female to male.
100% correct. You never really hear from a female to male transgender person making such a big fuss about things. It's always a male to female that wants these extra rights and stuff.
Yep.
You know, we want to be able to use a woman's toilet and all that kind of stuff. Well, why don't we hear from female to male that are kicking off saying we want to use a male toilets or male changing rooms? You don't hear it.
No.
And you're absolutely right there, Stitch, completely.
And I think that's because they still got their female side in their thought process, where women's toilets are private, women's changing rooms are private. They shouldn't be unisex. And so a lot of our schools now in the Devon area are now putting in girl and boy toilets back in. You've got unisex if the others want to use it, but they are putting only girls and only boys toilets back in, because they were discriminating against a lot of the school kids.
I think they should. I think schools should have male and female and disabled, because the people that want to make arguments about it are mentally disabled and need to use that toilet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When I was young, I just had this thing go through my head of thinking back sort of 40, 50 years, thinking how the hell would some of these people that use these toilets would have pissed in the old troughs that we used to have in the floor.
Oh yeah, remember those? Ugh. I used to have to do cleaning up the men's toilets with them troughs. Oh, fucking disgusting.
Oh.
What? Yeah, nasty.
Mind you, them yellow ice cubes used to smell nice, didn't they?
No.
Yes, of course you can, Crafts. Of course you can. Oh, PC pork sausage.
He's coming to visit.
I was watching an interview the other day, and someone on it said, yesterday it was on, I think it's Royal Family Channel or something like that. And one of them said, well, it never used to be an issue 10 years ago where the trans men went into toilets, trans women went into female toilets. And I thought, yes, it bloody was. They used to get banned from both bloody toilets if they tried it.
Mm. I think the problem is now that there's a lot that they don't even try anymore, some of them. Like if one comes into the toilet and they looked like a woman, like you wouldn't even know. When you've got these ones that have got facial hair and dressed like a man, you know, got a receding hairline, great big fucking stubbly face, and comes in and then starts screaming that I'm a woman when you've got some woman terrified because you've got this great big huge dude walking in. That's what the problem is. It's not, if it was a one that actually was trying to look like a female and act like a female, but then you've got these ones that come in that look like a dude who wear women's clothes, but then are trying to talk to women about tampons. And it's like, what the hell why are you going into a woman's toilet? I've never gone into a woman's toilet and offered another woman a tampon or a pad, because you don't do that. That's what women are upset about.
I think you're right there. I think you're definitely right. I agree with that completely. But what was that police officer that was in Wales down, wasn't it, when he became a period diversity officer? Do you remember that?
Oh, you could be
Oh, it was a fella, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a bloke. Police.
He was going to talk to all the women PCs about their periods and help them go through it with their time that they might need to take lighter duties. They sacked him and they took him to an employment tribunal and he got rehired. So he's still up there doing nothing. So yeah.
No way.
What Stitch saying has made sense. I mean, you think of that YouTuber Blair White. If you didn't know she was trans, you would
make me think about Blair White.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's hot.
The ones that cause the problems are the ones that look like Roger in a wig.
I can remember.
Oh, by the way, did anybody get a picture of me in Dan's wig last night?
No. I can remember 20 years ago, Dan, when there was people doing the same sort of thing, but the trans men that were like bearded, like you said, they wouldn't be allowed in the women's toilets because the women would push them out. Get out.
Exactly. I remember my dad telling me when he worked for an engineering firm, one of their bosses, they didn't know that he was what they called a transvestite at the time. And he turned up at the Christmas do dressed as a woman. And after that, the blokes wouldn't let him in the blokes' toilets and the women wouldn't let him in the women's toilets. He ended up having to leave the workplace.
Oh my God. So,
like I say,
They didn't know what was going on.
there are disabled toilets for a reason.
Not in an engineering firm.
11, Dan, if you still want to shut down.
In my area, Dan, there are no disabled toilets anymore. Despite radar toilets, they've shut them all down in Devon. They no longer exist. They've closed all the toilets down. They've got to pay. Nobody cares, mate. Nobody cares, Gabby. We've tried going after the local council. They said it was to save money in our city. So they saved 63,000, closing down 16 toilets, and about 8 of those were disabled. And then 2 weeks later, they hired an art director at 120 grand a year. So
obviously they're mad.
Yes, they are complete. Oh, look, little doggy.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Mia.
Hiya, Mia.
Beautiful. What breed is that, darling?
Yorkie.
Dog.
Yorkie. Beautiful.
Hey, what colour is
You're
it?
a lovely girl.
It's like sort of burnt orange at the moment.
Yeah, she's a ginger. Look, I can like put her in my hair and you can't even tell.
I think they call that a Wheaton. A Wheaton, they call that. That's got that red colour. Wheaton, I think they call it.
Oh, she's lovely.
She's only up here, right?
Lovely
Because
girl.
basically, she's dancing around my feet. She's thinking she's going to get more treats from me.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Sleeping
She
round
has a
out.
lot. She has a lot.
Adorable.
Oh, yeah, she's always, honestly, doesn't go to mum, comes to me. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
That's not put up with her shit, that's why.
Yeah.
Dan, did you see what Kraft said?
If I tell you, that was my little girl.
Coming up
She
on
was
the panel.
Wesley Stroke
Yeah.
Cairn.
Oh,
That was Lilu. She was
oh,
called Lilu. She passed away. She passed away in 2018. She had epilepsy.
oh,
She was my little. She was a Cairn Westie Cross. She was beautiful. She was daft as a
Yeah.
hat, but yeah, very obedient though. She loved playing with bubble wrap, and if you bought the little bubble, she'd hit it with her feet. If you bought the bigger square bubble, she'd headbutt them to make them pop. Like the blowing bubbles for kids. If you blew the bubble thing at her with kids, she'd go around popping all the bubbles and I used to crack up laughing. So yeah, I do miss her. But I can't get another dog now because I would not put a dog through that because I can't
That's
walk it
fair.
properly
Aye.
and I can't look after it with my current health issues. So
You're famous, Mia.
Did that.
You're on the telly. You're on the tube.
yeah,
Sonic-
famous.
Sonic's
Hi,
fist-
dear.
Famous, man. You're on the tubes. Aren't you,
Hi,
Danny?
Janine.
Hi.
Hi, Janine.
Down there now.
Yeah, I did want to get another dog, but I've decided not to because not fair on the animal because it needs exercise, socialization, and all that kind of stuff.
I
So
know.
somebody said get a
Like
parrot.
me,
I went, no way. No way am I getting a parrot. Noisy shit.
Well, they last about 60 years or something.
Yeah,
they
they
last.
can.
Aye.
Yeah, they can last, and they bite. My friend had
Oh.
a parrot. Oh, it was nasty.
Oh.
Yeah, she tried training it. It was like, no, it's going to bite. So
Well, I've still got my 2 dogs. She'll be 10 in this July. She'll be 10, and Sam he'll be 9 in February.
yeah,
So I was getting
she was
to
up.
the
She was
getting
my
old.
last. Yeah, she was my last one because when I shattered the tibia below my knee, there's nowhere I can walk very far now.
Right.
So I can't walk a dog. It's not fair.
It's like me. I take him out. I've got the scooter, so I take him out in the scooter. But
Yeah.
I do it about 5 in the morning. You know what I mean?
That's
It's so busy.
Yeah, that's good. When I got a small garden, someone said, "Oh, get a little." They told me to get a Chihuahua. I was like, "No,
No,
that's way no, never."
I'll see the wee dogs.
The smallest dog I had was Lilu. She was medium sized, but before her, I had Rottweilers.
Right.
I can't go to a little tiny
I
thing.
know.
Nope.
I know.
Chihuahuas are crazy.
They are nuts, yes.
My granny had one, and she had a fall, and the neighbours like called the ambulance and stuff, and she was in a little bungalow, and they had to call one of my aunties to go to the house to get the dog because every time anyone tried to go near my granny to help her, the dog would attack them.
Oh wow!
So yeah, he was like sitting on top of my nan, like. So yeah, they had to call my auntie to come down to get the dog so that they could treat her. Bless her.
They are very protective. I'll give them their due. They're very protective.
Like Mia is, if she likes you, it's cool. But a few years ago now, this man come in to do some work in my house, and as soon as he came in, she was Yap, and she followed him around and she kept biting. He had still like boots on, so he was just laughing at her, but she was biting his feet, she was biting his ankles, she was going mad the whole time. I ended up having to get my boy to take her upstairs until this man left because she just would not stop attacking this bloke.
That's a good sign there's something wrong with them. That is a good sign something's not right, because my Rottie would let anybody in, Jinx, the boy I had. But there was one guy that turned up to see my ex-husband, and he came in. He stood at the front door, and my Jinx would not let him through that front door. And he snarled at him. I said, "You need to go step outside the gate." "Why won't he let me in?" I said, "I don't know why, but get outside." So he left, and I told my husband to go and talk to him outside. 6 months later, his wife called me. He was a domestic violence perp, and he used to beat her up. And he was also hiding food from the children. The police had to be called. He was a nasty piece of shit, apparently, towards women.
Dog can tell, right?
Yeah, they can tell.
Could we just do a big shout for how brave Stuart's been spending so much time that close to Dan's ass?
Dogs and cats are very protective. I would rather be attacked by a dog than I would by a cat, because when they go psycho, they go psycho. You can handle a dog because of the size, but when this fur ball comes at you,
coming to you. Oh, thank God I've not been attacked by a cat or a dog. Thank goodness.
I've had some dog attacks yet.
Oh my God.
Good, they're actually training dogs now to detect cancer. Have you heard that?
Oh, you've gone quiet again, Lofa.
Oh, I'll go back into settings. I have to keep manually
At least mine only does it when I turn it on. Once I've set them, it's fine.
You're doing so well then as well, Lofa. Janine.
Yeah.
Good
evening.
evening.
You said you wanted to come up and you got something to say. So
basically, like going back to all this trans BS and everything. Now, as you know, I think Tina probably might have told you, but Tina knows as well. But I'll put it out there anyway. You all know I've been having trouble with this trans person who got me the restraining order and everything else. The restraining order is actually due to end on the 30th of June. But guess what? The police have only gone and charged me again 2 charges, breach of the restraining order. And they're saying that I contacted this trans person through Facebook and YouTube.
It's weird. They'll have to have evidence. They must have evidence.
Can I just say, where I am, I look like the top half of Lofa.
Yeah, you do. It will come out in court. It'll come out in court, Janine, because the evidence will come out in court. Shrug your shoulders, Joe, for make Dan move. So.
Oh, I've done it. That. I have to turn the mic on. You start me laughing.
Oh dear. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. I just noticed it and I had to share that. Sorry, Janine. I didn't mean to.
You've gone quiet, Janine.
Gone quiet, Janine. Can't hear you.
I must have turned Janine's mic off.
Have you been pressing buttons again?
The settings are okay here. You're not muted here. You might need to pop out and come in, Janine. I don't know what's going on. It might work in this end.
It looks like a frame rate drop right down.
There's no sound.
Cannot hear you at all, Janine.
Where'd the loafer go?
Oh, I think he was trying to sort out his settings. I think he's booted himself, maybe, or he might be trying to restart it to come back in.
Yeah.
I had some nice burgers yesterday, Dan.
Did you?
They're from Iceland. They're half pounders, Aberdeen Angus steak mince, right? They are the size. They are the size of a tea plate. So when I bought them, I thought they'd be standard burgers. They were the size of a tea plate, 8 inches across.
Yeah, man.
That's the ones.
That's the ones I get.
I took them down to they're great, aren't they? They taste great. Took them down to my daughter. She said, "Well, where's the burger buns?" I said, "There's no burger buns that you buy that'll go in. It's too big."
Yeah.
So she was laughing her head off, but they were fantastic to eat. They were brilliant.
Buy a loaf and cut it in half.
Oh, it was amazing. They didn't shrink either when you grilled them. They didn't shrink at all. I've never seen burgers the size of a tea plate.
What's up with you, Martin? What's bad? I noticed your last comment said mental illness people. I don't know whether you're talking about us or not. If you are, then fair play to you, mate. I'm glad you noticed.
I don't know what was his problem? Did something come up?
I don't know. There we go. I'm loafer again.
Oh, loafer.
Right, how am I now?
Whoa! That's better. It's loud,
Right.
but it's better.
Loud and proud.
I'll speak softly then.
Don't turn the lights down low.
My mother-in-law had a dog and she absolutely doted on it, and it was a crossbreed between a Shih Tzu and a poodle. It were a Shih Tzu poo. But terrible.
That's funny. Funny we talk about dogs actually, because I was out yesterday, and I got video of this little puppy. He's like 6 or 8 weeks old, I think it was.
Oh.
And he was literally like that big, you know.
Oh my god! So cute, so cute.
Oh, he's running about.
I would have died. That would have done me in.
I did rescue. Yeah, I found a cat over the cemetery because people don't put collars on and stuff. It was about 8 years ago, and she had a litter of kittens. There were 4 of them. So I thought, I can't leave them here because they were babies. She'd passed away. I don't know what happened. A fox may have got her. So I packed them up in a crate and I had to take them up to the RSPCA emergency. They turned me down. They wouldn't take the cats in. They only take dogs. So I had to go all the way to Buckfastleigh to get these cats into an emergency centre. So it was like, oh, so frustrating.
I did a job.
Huh?
Sorry, I did a job for a fella. Oh, Tina's sound's dropped off, or is it me?
No, she stopped talking, so you can talk.
All right. Oh yeah. Oh sorry. Yeah. I'm on delay because I keep going backwards between StreamYard and chat, and there's obviously about 5 seconds delay. Sorry, Tina.
Okay.
I did a job for a fella yesterday. Just finished it off, and he had a cat, very very rare breed, and he's got it insured, and he's got a tracking device on it, and its tracking device fell off its collar in the garden, so he's wandering around with his mobile phone trying to find this tracking device. Now, apparently, this cat, they grade it. There's 5 grades, and there's something 4 and 5, and below that, you're not allowed to own this cat because it's derived from a wild cat. from North America, a desert cat.
Is that
And
the several cat?
That's the one. It's got really
Several.
distinct sort of spot. It's really skinny.
Yeah, that's right. It's
got
a several cat. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, you're not allowed to own them unless they're actually, you know, they're very expensive and people go around stealing them. But it was for a job for a guy. They're not only allowed cats in this culture. They're not allowed to have dogs in the house. The job was in Rotherham.
Wow.
There you go. You can draw your own illusions from that, I'm afraid. We'll just leave it there.
Right, I just want to respond to a comment. Sorry, guys, changing the subject again quickly. You're right, Toria. Drag queens aren't reading sex books, but they are appearing at these reading sessions wearing, in some cases, not all, but in some cases, they're wearing very revealing clothes that children are seeing. Okay. And what they're doing again is they are, rather than, they're not just reading a story, they're reading a story with a purpose. It has an agenda behind it. Okay? So rather than just saying to people, accept everybody, no matter what they look like, they are pushing the fact that, oh, if you want to be trans, you can be trans, and nobody can say anything about it. Nobody can give you any opinion on it. They're not allowed to, and you can do what you want, and you must take advice from people that are positive towards you.
Yeah,
that's what the issue is, right? I don't care. This, I've said before, I think people should be taught to accept everybody. There's so many different types of people in the world. Some people will dress one way and some people might not like it, but it doesn't mean that they're any less a human being, and we should respect those people as people. The problem that I see, and again, not everybody will agree with me, and that's absolutely fine. But the problem that I see is that that people are being forced a certain narrative upon them. They're not saying accept everybody regardless to their differences. They're saying, you know, for example, you must promote, or you must be in favor of this particular type of person.
Yeah.
And then anybody that speaks out against it, or anybody that has an opposing opinion to it, is a bigot, is a Nazi, is out of order, is horrible, is hateful. That causes that hate divide between what we say. And they're saying in one breath you should accept trans people, you know, as in you should accept everybody. But then in the next breath, they're saying you shouldn't accept people whose opinions go against that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So they're not going in and reading sex stories. Some of the stories are a little bit inappropriate, I think, but they're not sex stories as you've put there. And I don't think anybody's saying that they're sex stories that I've seen.
No.
But when somebody turns up wearing a skimpy little skirt and, you know, and they've got their balls hanging out of their knickers, almost sort of thing, that is not right for children. And I've seen it, especially in America, I've seen adults taking their children to places that are adult only places normally, and they've got somebody, you know, dressed up doing all sorts of what you might class as sensual dancing. I don't see it that way myself, but and then the parents are giving the kids money to tuck into the fucking person's belt or into their fucking underwear almost. That is disgusting about things.
Inspector Ghettos, wasn't that the name of the copper that got done for assaulting the young auditor?
Yes, it was, yeah. Yeah, I doubt very much that is the Inspector Ghettos. If it is, it'd be quite amusing because he's not an inspector anymore, as far as I know.
No, he's not.
So
I think you're right, Dan. It's the inappropriateness of some of the clothing they're wearing and the agenda they have. They're not. I mean, America's got it a lot worse than we do. They are actually producing books describing how you like to be touched, what body parts you want to be touched on. They're showing pictures. They're showing all sorts in the States, and it's disgusting.
Toria, can you jump up on the panel? Can you jump up on here and we can have a discussion that way? If you can't, it's fine. It's just make it a little bit easier. That's all. Because there's clearly discussion to be had. And you know, you're right. Drag acts aren't going into schools. I think the issue here is the parents in a lot of respects. I think it's the parents that are making the decisions to take children along to these things. And some of them just do it because they think it's what they have to do because of the current narrative. They think, oh, if I don't take my kids along, then I'm going to get called a bigot or a Nazi or whatever it might be. Do you know what I mean? So they take their kids along, and you know, some people love it, granted, but some people are taking their kids along because they think it's the in thing to do.
Yeah.
But again, you're not giving children the overarching view that you should respect everybody. They're saying you should respect trans people, and if you feel trans, then you're right. Everybody else is wrong. You shouldn't listen to anybody. They're bigots, Nazis, don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's where the issue comes in. I think it should be if a child feels that they are in the wrong body, you should support them. You shouldn't try and push them down a certain direction. You should support them and say, okay, that's absolutely fine. You know, if you want to talk to me about things in the future, come and see me. But what a lot of places are doing is saying, oh, you feel like you're in the wrong body. Right, let's get you a counsellor. Let's get a woke counsellor to come and speak to you to tell you how it's absolutely fine, which it is. But how everybody who's got an opposing view is wrong and are hateful and will help you down that path. They get forced down a certain path. They're not left to make their own mind up, and that's an issue that I think is really important. I think that's something that needs to be talked about.
It does, Dan, because I don't know whether you remember the NHS report that came out of a centre that was encouraging transgender changes to children aged from 12 to 16 without the parents' knowledge or information being passed to the parents. And so, in some cases, they were giving girls as young as 12 binding vests to put on so their breasts didn't develop without the parents' knowledge. It's all that kind of stuff. Hi, Janine. So it is very difficult for a child to, as far as I'm concerned, sex ed is still on the curriculum at 14 to 16. It's always been that way.
1 second,
but they're going into younger schools to talk about it.
Yeah. Toria, you're right. There are people that will conflate some issues. I'm not going to disagree with that whatsoever. There are people that are completely... I'm not against kids having access to information or access to help. I'm not against that whatsoever. But for me personally, and it might be different from people that you've seen talking online, which is fine. For me personally, it is the fact that I feel children, as soon as they say something like that, like, oh, I don't feel that I'm in the right body, then they are forced down a particular path. They're not just given if my kids came to me and said, I've got an issue, I would advise them and I'd leave it at that. The rest of it is down to them. If they want to come to me and ask me for more information or more advice, I'll give it to them. But I wouldn't force them down a particular viewpoint. And a lot of children are being forced into a particular viewpoint because of so much wokeness, in schools and places like that. The schools think that virtue signal time. A child thinks that they might be in the wrong body. Let's do our bit. Let's virtue signal a little bit and support them all the way and tell them that everybody else is a bigot, everybody else is wrong, everybody else is hateful. Yeah. And that is what causes a lot of divide between people. That's what causes a lot of hate. Yeah.
But I think they're also missing the point with what the children are missing. With all of this stuff being introduced to the school, they're forgetting the basics: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Those are the basics. Biology, history, all those kind of lessons they should be learning are changing to focus on what is woke.
Apparently, Toria isn't discussing the issue. They're just saying that people should that we shouldn't be misleading people about it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what they've just said.
Well, I don't think, Toria, that I personally, I think we're hearing opinions. I don't think anybody said that what they've said is factual, proven scientific evidence or anything. The people that have spoken about that on here at the moment that I can see are giving their own opinion. And that's important to give an opinion. It's important to hear what other people have got to say rather than just one point of view.
It's about understanding that there are different people. I've been around different people all of my life: homosexuals, lesbians, gays, transgenders. I've been through the whole lot, and I taught my kids from a young age they have to accept people who are different. And I did introduce them to a transgender, and they spoke to my kids when they were teenagers, and they were fascinated by it, our story. So I don't think I have a right to judge another person on what they want to be, but I don't want it shoved down my throat. and telling me that I'm wrong in the way I identify myself. That's what's wrong.
Yeah, it's like the new curriculum in Wales, isn't it? It's now compulsory. They don't just have sex education; they have relationship education, and the terms male and female are banned from it. You're not allowed to withdraw your kids from the class, and all that stuff.
So
I used to work in sales, right? And we had he used to be a hairdresser. I can't remember what his name is now, and he came to work with us. And for a while, he was just another person. He was just another person in the office, and we spoke to him and we treated him just with as much or as little respect as anybody else in that office. We became friends, right? And it got to the point where he knew that I'd got nothing against gay people, and he was as bent as a 9-bob note, right? And I've got nothing against gay folk whatsoever, but he knew that I didn't like the idea of if somebody knows that I'm straight, then they should respect that and leave me alone and not try and touch me up or chat me up. Well, this guy used to do exactly that in the office in front of 30, 40 other people. I'd be teaching and he'd walk up next to me and he'd lean up against the wall and he'd go, "Hello, darling." And I'd be like, "Oh, fuck off, will you?" They'd be like, "No, I've been watching you. I've been watching you from across the room." And he'd take the piss. He would absolutely take the piss, right? He would touch my ass when I'm teaching, and I'd be like, "Wait, get off your fucking quid." Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing, right? But it was all done. It was done in jest. He knew that he could wind me up. I knew that he wasn't doing it maliciously, and we were good friends. Do you know what I mean? But there are people out there that will go out of their way to cause an issue with somebody, and there are people that are genuinely discriminatory towards different types of people. I think the vast majority of people now are very, very accepting, very accepting. We just want to live our lives. We want other people to live their lives.
Yep.
But when it starts, as I say, when it starts to get forced upon us, when it starts to be, you have to think this way,
exactly.
or you're a bigot, or you're hateful, that is where a massive issue comes in, because we're not allowed. That means we're not allowed an opinion anymore, and we're not allowed to voice our opinion, and that's an infringement on our basic rights of being able to express ourselves.
But they're trying to block free speech. Yeah, they're trying to block free speech. That's what it comes down to.
Did you know the term bigot isn't actually an insult? It just means someone who has an opposing opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, but it gets used now. It's like anything. A word's been hijacked to mean something else. There's lots of words that have been
like
hijacked.
Idiots that don't understand the English language.
Yeah, not me.
I just wish the schools would teach the children what they need to know to get through school. And they, in my personal opinion, I don't think any of this should be taught to anybody under the age of 14. I don't. These children, these babies have got to learn to be babies first. They're children. Stop turning them into little mini adults because you think it's right with your opinion. That's what I disagree with.
Silas, I can see in the back there. Could you do us a favour? Just lift your right hand up for me. Thank you very much, sir. I'll bring you up. Good evening.
Dan, can you let me know how I sound, please?
Yeah.
Hello, people. I totally agree with what you're saying. Can you let me know how I sound? I have.
Sound okay?
Underwater.
Do I sound okay?
You sound fine. Yeah, sorry. Just want to listen to what's
I was having trouble with the phone, so I jumped on the computer.
Give us 1 sec, Janine. Just want to hear what Silas has got to say quickly.
Okay.
Come on, mate.
Hi, Silas.
Hi, Silas.
Hi there. Good evening, everyone. I totally agree with Tina. I have 4 grandchildren. Sorry, I actually have 7 grandchildren, 4 of which are twins. Both from my son made a set of twins, and my daughter made a set of twins.
Wow!
And I've told my son I've got my son's ones are 2 identical girls, right?
Right.
They're 9 years old now. My son's ones are about 7 years old now. Sorry if you get the ages of them. And I've got another couple which I haven't seen for years. But I totally agree with you, darling. See, and I've told my son this, right? I said, if anyone ever interferes with my fucking granddaughters or grandsons, just you tell me, because I'm 54, and I'll go out and I'll fucking blow their head off, I've got nothing left to lose. You know what I mean?
Be careful what you say, Silas. Be careful how you explain things. That's all, mate. I don't care. I don't mind you. I don't mind you saying what you need to say. It's just be careful of the words that you use. That's all, because YouTube have an issue. So,
well, let's just say I would
Not be
take the justice away from my son, and I would just, I'd take responsibility for it. But honestly, this world worries me. What's going on right now? Seriously. And we're actually okay up here. You guys are way down south. You're being overloaded and overwhelmed by people coming in and doing whatever they're doing and stuff like that. And I'm actually quite a bit luckier than you guys are. That's all I wanted to say. I won't stay on long, and I won't fuck up your channel. Sorry, I won't mess up your channel, mate.
No, listen, swearing's not an issue. I swear like a fucking trooper on it, so it's absolutely fine. It's just I get that people are very what's the word? Passionate about things.
Passionate, emotional, yes.
Yeah, and sometimes we can say what we mean, which is absolutely fine. I want people to say what they mean, but sometimes because of the censorship and shit like that, we need to word it slightly differently. That's all.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a writer. I'm actually a published writer, so therefore, I understand. I'm sorry that
Dan, I got a point that's being discussed in there. Now, okay, Troy is saying they're not going into schools. Yeah, they're not. They're doing it in public libraries. Now, how do you think these young kids are getting to these libraries to see these shows? They're not going on their own, are they? They're not. They haven't asked to go there.
A lot of the times, Roger, they're taken by the schools.
Their parents have to take them.
Parents and schools can take them.
Yeah, some schools are doing it and they're getting permission from the parents. But again, the problem is if you're a parent and you don't give permission, you're going to be looked at as being hateful and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And again, it's an issue. You have your own opinion on how your children should be brought up, as we have a right to do as parents. And that is being slowly eroded away from people. We're not allowed to punish our children anymore. And we've had this discussion. I'm not going to it, but some people think when I talk about smacking kids, some people think we're talking about abuse. We're not. We're not talking about beating the fuck out of children. Okay, that is clearly wrong. If I went to stick my hand in a fire and my mum smacked the back of my hand, that is far less pain than I'm going to get sticking my hand in an open flame. And I'll be grateful for her to do that.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? So when we talk about punishing children, we're not talking about beating the shit out of them. But I know I'm slightly going off topic a little bit here. But I can't even remember where I was going with this now. Sorry.
I'll tell you something, right? Here's one for you, right? Honestly, I've been going around taking. I'm a stonemason, right? Apart from my hands doing work right now, but what I've been going around doing is actually taking videos of historic buildings. And I went in at my local library, and I arranged with them. I says, right, I'm going to come down and make a little video of the stonework and everything. I was a stonemason, right? So I'm interested in this. And they said to me, as long as you don't capture any children or anything like that in your video. And I'm like, well, I'm not here to look at children. I'm here to look at the stonework and everything like that. So there's a whole hypocritical thing. And yet they've got some person thing at coming in and reading bloody stories to kids who are, well, you know what I'm saying here.
It is not the it's not the actual problem. I think in schools, the schools give the government give the teachers what they have to teach the kids. So the people responsible for this is the government for bringing it in. They are totally responsible for all the crap that's going on. Totally.
But if I go into a library, right, and I'm going to take a wee video, and there's some guy there dressed in a big frock, big bloody curly wig or something like that, and reading stories to children, I will be upset. It's okay. I'll be upset.
And again, we're entitled to our opinions. I accept opinions on here. I do, even if I don't agree with them. I'll accept opinions on here. I'm kind of the same mindset. I don't think that it's right the way that it's being done. I think that a lot of people, a lot of parents are I think some are afraid of being called hateful, and do it out of how do I look to the community. I think there are some that have been indoctrinated into thinking that it's normal. I don't necessarily think that it's normal. I don't. I think that drag acts was something that was designed many years ago, and it was to do with it was a sexual thing many years ago. Okay, that's how it started. It was a sexual thing. Okay, and over time it then turned into like adult cross-dress, trans, whatever you want to call it, drag shows, which were fun for adults, and laugh at and all that kind of stuff. And now it's got to a point where it's being classed as a serious thing, and that children should be experiencing it. And I don't agree with that. It's like, I mean, let's put it this way: if a bloke, leather chaps with the arse cheeks cut out and the nipple holes in his leather fucking waistcoat, turn up at a library to read stories to kids about bumming other blokes, right? Would these same parents be happy for their children to go and watch that? They wouldn't. I'm telling you, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't. No.
Right? They're happy for a trans person whose balls are hanging out of their knickers in some cases, wearing short frocks, bending over, twerking in kids' faces, all that kind of stuff. All of that is sexual behaviour.
Yeah,
and they're exposing very young children to sexual behaviour.
It's disgusting.
Which they shouldn't be fucking exposed to.
What are you saying about the social pressure of being branded sort of bigger and things like that if they don't take the kids to it? That reminds me of a few years ago. I don't know if you remember when there's a big thing with schools trying to force parents to let the kids go on trips to mosques and things. And they actually put on the letter, if you do not let your child go, then we will consider you an Islamophobe or something.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if they're doing the same thing with this.
Hello, Simon.
Hi, Simon.
Good evening. I'm holding a fort up on cats. Oh, look, there's still some there. Hey, guys.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah, been watching you.
I'm holding a cat. I'm sorry. Can I just interrupt? I've only got a few minutes. I'll go back and help her out. But I'm holding a fort at Cat's side. What's happened is a certain other channel. They're all trying to come over and bombard her and stuff like that. So,
are they giving her shit?
Yeah, somewhat. So look, do you mind if I do something as well? Can I put a link in for a channel?
Get your wally out, for fuck's sake. Don't do that.
And let's get her over 300 subs. Can I use you? Can I? Yeah.
Stick your link in. So, Kat, who is talking about, is very
lovely.
She's a lovely lady. She does at the moment. She's
she American
every day. Yeah, isn't she? But she's very fair. She's a lovely lady. She's doing live stream. She just talk about anything. There's no structure to it. She just talks about anything. But there's a group of people that have gone over, and some people have gone over there purposely because Simon, God bless the UK, goes on her channel, and they've started going over there and they've started to infiltrate, and they've started to, some of them are attacking this lady, saying things like, "Oh, you're one-sided. You're having a go." They're getting the ump basically because they've been dickheads and they've been called out. So now they're slagging her off and being horrible about the channel. And now it seems
and because she supported you as well, Pat. And thinks you're lovely because she thinks you're lovely. I do. Flicking my nipple. It's that stupid childhood thing. You can't be their friend because I want you to be my friend and all that stuff. So listen, guys, if you could please just go over and just give her a sub. Doesn't mean you got to stay there. Just give us some support. Yep. She's lovely.
It's gone a bit quiet in there at the moment.
You do it, Simon.
Anyway, before I go. Sorry I haven't been able to come up here tonight. I'm gagging to come up here, obviously. But thanks for that little message last night, Dan. You bastards, making me feel really sad. I'm sat at home with my pissed up missus giving me grief. I could be out there partying with you.
I can't remember sending you a message, to be honest.
Right, do you want to hear it?
Oh no, not really.
No, I promise you, it's nice. It's nice. Ready, guys? This so it's about 2 o'clock in the morning last night, and I said, "Oh, how are you getting on?" And Dan did take the time, steamed at me, to send me this. Ready?
Alright, Simon, God bless the UK. Say hello. Hey, Simon! Hello! Yeah, alright, brother. Listen, we're still out, getting pissed. I'll be going home soonish. I might do a short live stream, depending how pissed I am when I get home. So yeah, man, we're all good. We're all good.
He must have took a long time to send that to me to wait for the "It's fun to stay in the YMCA" not to be played.
Oh god.
So what time did you guys get to bed in the end?
I think we got back to about 4 o'clock. 20 to 4 we got back to mine.
Wow.
Oh, you missed out on so much last night. We had Crinkle come on, Cats.
I've heard.
Yeah. And he started taking a piss about how people. This is how you used poor Crinkle. That you people donated to get him off the stream. I said, yeah, I remember that. You should have come on last night, Crinkle. You could have paid for tonight's birthday bash as well.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he could have put a stop to it at any time he wanted by fucking off, couldn't he?
That's very true.
It was quite fun. I mean, I couldn't have been with you guys, but I helped the fourth down this side of England and that, and it's quite an entertaining night.
I'll have a watch. I'll have a watch of yesterday's live stream tomorrow and see what he had to say for himself. I'm sure I got called all sorts.
You got pulled. It wasn't. I don't think it's on there.
But well,
I went back to check it myself.
I'll try and send a few people over to Cats after this stream, which I should have.
I'll go over. I mean, I hope she isn't upset with me because, like, she did kind of cross me a little bit, but I left anyway.
See what? Oh yeah, Soul.
Remember?
Soul.
Yeah.
My goodness me! What? How much did you have to drink? I've never seen you like that.
I had a drink, right? But I think what she was talking about, she was talking about the Palestinians, and she was like, some of the things that she was saying were getting me triggered, man.
Right, so you got to remember, like, we get our side of the propaganda, what we hear, and they get their side. And yeah, and was it Jack Daniels? I think you had half a bottle, was it?
Jim Beam.
Oh, Jim Beam.
I wasn't
being a right twat.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. I just didn't.
And the thing is,
she didn't know what she was talking about, right?
A few hours before that, right? The thing is, right? He goes, "Oh, that's Saul Goodman. Who is he?" I said, "Look, do you know what? Saul Goodman, one of the most."
Yeah, she was a bit. I think she was a bit upset about me. I don't know. I've heard something since then.
I told her a few hours
before. I never swore at her or anything. I didn't slag her off or anything.
I just say you're the most nice person I've ever seen. I've never seen you get irate.
Well, irate. Well.
And I went, we were like singing his praise and that, going on how great he was, and then he comes on that was white pleb, and it's like, fuck's sake, makes us.
I mean, I didn't go out of my way to attack her like how she was being attacked by Nathan.
No, I know. Yeah, I know. No.
That was shameful. That one.
Yeah, it's still going on now. It's been going up. What it is, right, is somebody said something about the claps, and Nathan keeps doing the clap hands. I said, Nathan, did you see what I put? I said, Nathan, you can only wish to get the clap, you fucking virgin.
I remember watching earlier.
And he goes, I'm only saving it for the right woman. I said, more like you got a micro penis.
Oh my god!
It's only banter. It's only banter.
I know, Simon. Good response though.
Yeah. Well, no, I just getting fed up with him keep going on and attacking Cat. Yeah. And then I thought, all right,
you're not going
to have a little bit of fun.
You're not going to get that from me, and you certainly didn't get that from me last night. Me attacking her in any way. I think it was an issue. You know? Well, there was an issue, and she was really, let's say, tenacious.
Yeah, late at night, had a drink and all that kind of stuff.
She was a bit narky as well, anyway, I think. She seems like she was
I
like.
think she was just going through a lot.
Yeah, she
You
seems
don't
to be
know.
going
I mean, I'm
through.
not going to go on it about it on here, but she was talking about it
Yeah.
with me in the morning, and she's going through something, and she was upset, and you know, like someone's right here that they love it when you go sinister and your voice, and then you stare at the camera. It's not nice, and when you do it, it's not nice. And she was going through something today, and that's why I think she got upset with you. That is why.
Yeah, there's some other
It's
things
not
going on.
nice when you do that at all.
There's some other things going on in the background. I'm not going to reveal. Nothing to do with us or any of you guys or anything like that.
No, it's not.
Trolls. And so, and then you got to remember, she's spending a lot of time on this YouTube thing, doing this near enough 24-hour stream. It must take a toll. It must take a toll.
Yeah. Dan, can you hear us? Dan, you got no sound.
Thank fuck for that. Right. Oh, I just want to say hello to Silas as well. Silas, my old mucker. Now that's another good geezer. He's a good geezer. I've known him for what, 3 years now. Silas?
Probably around about that. Aye, yeah, probably around about that. When I got my fucking face smashed in and fucking arm dropped by my neighbour.
Have you ever told people about that on here? One night you want to listen to this story about that, you'll be like,
court case ongoing, mate. I can't say too much about it, so there is a
Aye.
Well, when you can, let us know, Silas.
I will.
Dan, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. I guarantee it. You'll go, what the fuck? You almost had me in tears, literally.
Fucking bastard.
Yeah.
I'm not finished yet.
Good lad. Right, look, I'm going to jump out. I'm going to go back to hold the fort for Kat. But if anybody on there, please, in the chat, or whatever, if you could just give her a like, doesn't mean you have to. But she is a lovely woman, and I think the British have basically taken it over now. But sadly, what it is, right? Another channel's bringing their, because I went to a few other channels, my safe space. You never know about these channels. And they just seem to log onto these channels to bring the drama on when I tried to sort out the shit between our channel and another channel. And I just got caught in it. And so they're just using that as a medium to just come up with their bullshit and then their narcissistic bullshit. But anyway, right, I'm going to get going because I'm blabbing. Take care. See you later, Dan. I'll speak to you tomorrow. And then Gabby, I haven't seen you for a while. You have a good evening. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Simon.
Yes.
Simon.
Listen.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Crinkle. Beetlejuice.
I'm going to wrap this straight up and I will nip over just briefly to Pat's channel and say hello and whatnot. But yeah, we'll be over there shortly anyway, just for a little bit at least.
I've just subscribed as well. So.
Oh no, honestly, Tina, I love it over there. It was such varied topics but I just don't like the way she's getting bullied.
I like bullies. I like taking them on. Don't worry.
And me.
It's the same ones that you're used to dealing with, unfortunately.
And at the end of the bullies, I say, "Here's what you could have won." Right, 3, 2, 1. I'm gone. Take care. Good night, guys.
Good night, mate. Take it easy.
Dave Kelly's just gone over there and put a comment. I'm only here to say Benson is a girl.
It's sometimes you just need a bit of support. You just need support, don't you?
So in saying that, I'll go away early now. I'll see you there, right?
Yeah,
Are you still in Scotland, by the way? Your Scottish accent. Where are you?
I'm still stuck here. Yep.
Unfortunately,
but the weather's been great, I must say.
I'm in East Lothian. Right? Through in East Lothian, just 10 miles east of Edinburgh.
Right.
So I've got the softer Scottish accent.
I'm Glasgow.
You've got the Glasgow accent.
Aye.
That's good, yeah.
I'll see you later. Thanks very much, Pat, for having me on.
See you later, Gabby. Take care, honey.
See you later, honey.
Bye for now, then.
Sure, bye.
Look after yourself.
I'm fucking looking for my bottle up now.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna answer Woodstock.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. in about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to nip over to Kat to say hello because she is a lovely lady. And I'm not just saying that because she said some nice things about me, because if I was a dick, she'd tell me I was being a dick. You know what I mean? She's one of them people, she'll tell you, right? But she'll give you the chance. She'll give you chance after chance. But when it gets too much, she will turn around and go, do you know what? Fuck you. I'm not having that anymore. She's a strong woman. She is funny. I like her. I like her. It's a nice conversation.
My browsing history I was on last night with Saul as well.
Well, I'm not sure I want to hear about your browsing history, Loafer.
I must admit, I like strong, hard-headed women, well, to be honest with you. Because if I'm being a dick, I want a woman to turn. If I'm out with someone, just tell me.
Yeah, you've on Dave Kelly's.
Being a fucking dick, you know.
Hi, Madway.
Hello.
Yeah, if anybody goes over to Kat's after this stream, just go over and say we've come from Paps, just so she knows.
Right, so what's it? What is the? I'm sorry, mate. I missed the stream.
Right, I'll chuck a link. I'll chuck a link to a live stream in the comments now.
Okay, mate.
She's a Canadian. She's doing a social experiment. She's running live streams almost 24/7 for weeks now. Sometimes the live stream she'll leave it running, but she'll go out and do what she's got to do, but the live stream's still running. A bit weird, but you know, each to their own. But when you get to talk to her, she's genuinely a nice lady. She won't take too much. She'll take shit from people and she'll laugh it off. She's you know, I can react sometimes to some of the shit that people say, and I probably shouldn't react. She's got far broader shoulders than I have. So if you think I've got broad shoulders, Kat has got far broader shoulders than me. And she will take an awful portion.
Is that the link you put up, mate?
The link I've just posted, yeah.
Right, okay, pal. Excellent, thank you. I'm pretty sure we could actually probably have a laugh.
Harry Blogs, there was a warning put in the chat just now. No comments in all capitals, please. There's only one person does it, and that's because they have sight issues.
I'd also like to point out I've not insulted anyone, assumed anything about what they do, nor have I expressed an opinion. Oh, sorry, listen, you've asked questions, which is absolutely fine. You say you've not expressed an opinion. I don't mean to be rude, but I think that some of what you've said is based on opinion from my point of view. And again, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't think anybody on the panel has been disrespectful to you over your views, and you know, I hope I haven't been disrespectful in the way that I've responded to your comments. And I want people to be able to have different opinions. You know, Bearded Vet, I like Bearded Vet. He could well have a completely different opinion to me and say to me, "What, Dan? I don't agree with that because X, Y, Z," and I'll respect. You know, I don't respect people that turn around and go, "Well, you're talking shit, you wanker." You know, people like that, which we do get. Those are the people I don't want to talk to. They don't want to have a discussion. They don't want to hear opinions. They're not interested. All that's important to them are their own opinions. But I'm more than happy to talk about. You know, if you put something in the comments, I'm more than happy to discuss with you, as I think I have done. And again, I hope I've been disrespectful to you. I hope you don't feel that I've been disrespectful. I don't think I have. But yeah, listen. If Tiff's asked people to stop and they're not, then Tiff or Roger or whoever else is here, we'll
I just done it. I forgot my caps were on.
No, for example, you know, they will deal with it. So if people have been asked to stop and some people aren't stopping, then that will get dealt with by the moderators. But again, thank you, Toria, for coming on. I know we've spoken briefly before on here. I think you said that I think it was you that pronounced your name correctly. But again, coming on and sharing your opinions, I appreciate it. What's happening, redhead man?
I love your hair. I love your hair. Put it up. Put it up. Oh, hell yeah.
Good
Oh,
grief,
you're
that
real
Danny.
pretty, boy. You're real
That
pretty.
cannot be yours. That cannot be yours. Honestly.
Oh, you real pretty.
Honestly.
The brothers.
Dan, I'm going to go, my love. I'll say good night to everybody. Thanks for your time.
All right.
I appreciate it. I'll speak to you tomorrow. All right?
Speak to you
You
tomorrow.
take care of everybody. Take care. Take care of everybody.
Dan, Janine's been sat there patiently since she come back.
Yes,
I'm
you're
going
right.
to have to go anyway, folks. I'm going to go. We'll catch you later, guys. Take care.
Silas. Right, mate.
Yeah,
Thanks for jumping
Silas.
on.
Take care, buddy.
Bye for now. Cheers.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of happened with the phone. It just went and did its own random thing. But anyway, I'm back now. And yeah, I was I sent a message to Tina about my T-shirt. If you guys can see it.
One day.
I'm just going to say, fuck it all.
One day I'm going to just say, fuck it all and let my demons out to play.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I do that far more often than I want to.
Well, no, I've got a couple more that I want to get. One of them says the system, and another one, keep calm and fuck the police, that and whatnot. You know, so I'm going to get those soon as well.
Well, don't forget, I've got some t-shirts on the link in
Oh
the
yeah,
description.
I've been looking at yours as well. But do you know what? I was going to get one of yours, Dan. And when I do get my day in court, I'm going to wear it to court just to piss people off.
I was rummaging through my underwear drawer today, and I tried to find one of my favourite T-shirts. It's one of Sardon's, the Social Justice Sock Just. It's a take on George Orwell's Ink Sock. Sock Just. Trans women and women, religion of peace, and diversity of strength. I can't find it. I think the wife's hidden it. I don't think the wife approves.
Nice, Jason. Keep it there, Jason. Keep it there.
Love it.
Nice.
Dan, have you got any embroidered patches of your logo?
I haven't. And the reason I haven't is they are so expensive to get done. If I had hundreds of thousands of subscribers, I could, it's probably worth the cost. But the amount of people, that I do have as subscribers, which is great, don't get me wrong, but there's not enough people to warrant the initial cost of paying out for that. So it's a shame because I'd love to have some embroidery. Yeah. I've been asked by several people, but just not enough.
Yeah, I'd have stuck it on my camera bag. There's quite often I'll be talking to someone and they'll mention the police. I go, "Oh, have you watched the Police Abusing Powers channel?"
That's what I like.
Reports about it on there.
So
I know there's a couple of people from the veterans group that watch the channel, just don't comment on it.
Ah, right, okay.
Because it's sat there and showing them videos.
Have you got a printer, Mikey?
Yes.
Because you can actually buy the sticker material to run through printers. So all you'd have to do is copy an image of Dan's logo, print it out on one of them, and there you go, instant sticker.
That's copyright infringement.
No, I'll give you permission. You have permission. The problem is it won't stick onto the fabric of the bag. Is the issue?
Yeah, never thought of that.
But yeah, again, if I had the demand for it, then it would be worth the outlay for it.
There's lots of people on Etsy do those patches. I don't know if
there's some people by us that do them cheap.
They're gonna do the same. Holy fuck!
How are you, Charlie? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. I've been a bit busy. Looking at starting lawsuits again.
Right.
Oh my word!
Got to get my paperwork together again.
Of course. Put Loafer under. Yeah, hang on. No, but Loafer's changed now. Look, he's too close to the camera. he steps back a little bit,
I'm
then
chatting
it'll-
with Janine about the greatest battle in the world.
Now we're just looking at Luther's tit.
Yeah.
Got the moves.
Scoop.
Just said what Dave Kelly's put in Miss Cat's chat. Benson, you will kneel before Pap.
I don't think Pat wants him to.
Oh, Benson's on there. Good. Tina's gone on there. Paranormal.
Tina's in
Soul Save.
She's gone from 11 watching to 25.
Well, we had her at close to 40 the other week, didn't we? Last week, I think it was. And she said, she goes,
Glenn will be shutting down soon.
Don't
so
hit her
they'll
too hard,
be
though. I hit
going
her
in.
with 100 one night, and she didn't like it.
Say again, Jay.
Don't hit her too hard with so many viewers. She don't take it too well.
No, I mean, look, 30, 40 people, I don't think is too much. And I will ask people to be respectful over there if you go over, because she will, even if you're from here, if you're too abusive to Nathan, she will.
Yeah,
kill
she'll have you straight off.
So,
I'm not impressed. Are you telling me I can't go over there and address my issues with Nathan?
No, by all means, you can. I'm just saying, I don't want people going over and go, I'm from Pap's channel. Nathan, you're a cunt. Because then it looks bad on me.
After we did for that Nathan as well.
Oh, bless him. Bless him.
The next 200 people you see in that chat's going to be Pap sent me. Fuck you, Nathan.
I was using his favourite. It's called banter. Slagging people off is banter if it's him doing it against other people, but when we do it to him, it's called abuse. I love it. I love the 2-tier system that Benson's got going on. Maybe he should be old Bill.
Don't let him
They
hear
have
you say that.
micro penis as well.
Well, Bearded Veteran was talking about tools earlier. Now, I've had my small dick out.
That wasn't me, that was Roger.
I'm going to get your tool out on the camera, are you?
The only thing I've gone over to the battery platform, DeWalt battery platform. The only thing I have a chuck key for is this thing here.
Also,
see that?
Can of beans.
That's for putting poo pipes through walls. So yeah. The only thing I have a chuck key for, I've gone over to batteries because they're just so much more convenient. Bring it down to plumbing. Roger was whinging the other day about not having a water meter. I think if Roger needs a water meter, I think he can assist it as one installed, because you should only have to pay for the water you consume.
Yeah, we can have one installed, but we would have to pay for it.
he doesn't need a water meter, he just needs Viagra to stop it dripping on his feet.
Guys, sorry, I just want to some justice. Thank you. I've just read your comment, but please be warned, any messages that are all capitals or majority capitals, for some reason, and I don't understand it, but YouTube will look at that as spam, because a lot of spam channels use all capitals to highlight their message. So we have to be careful with all capital messages. So not your comment hasn't been hidden because of the content, just because it's all capitals. We have to be careful with that. So I hope you don't, I don't take that the wrong way.
I have been fitted in the flat.
Oh God!
You're a bunch of fucking blokes.
What have you fucking done? Oh dear.
That's all right. I got one of him with his handler.
Oh yeah, where are you going to put it up? Oh yeah, there we go.
That's cool. I like that one. I like that.
No, that's just evil.
I like that.
Oh dear.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have nightmares now.
Well, guys, I'm going to wrap this up because I do need to.
Tina's gone up.
Just
After there's been shots fired.
I do want to pop over onto onto Cat's channel just briefly. Get off to sleep. If you're coming over, by all means, come over. Please be respectful, because with Cat's channel, because even though Benson is a dickhead, she honestly won't stand for it, no matter who you are. If it was me, she'd boot me as well.
Yeah.
So please be respectful in that respect. And if she asks, if you say something that she deems to be out of order and she asks you not to, again, please be respectful, because she is a decent woman. I don't want to go around causing problems.
Over there, I was going to bed.
But with that said, I'm going to wish all of you good night on here, who are on here and who are going to bed. Janine, Bearded Vet, Charlie, Loafer, Saul, thank you for jumping up. Appreciate that. Don't be too concerned about looking out for videos tomorrow. I might be asleep most of the day. But if I can get some done, I will do. But I do need to
Bloody have a day off.
recover. I do need to recover from the weekend.
Yeah, I don't put one out once I've been on the live stream on a Sunday night anyway, on Mondays.
Just one last thing. Thanks for the card. Stitch said thanks, yeah. Danny.
What, sorry?
Say Stitch says thanks for the card.
No, yes, no, absolutely no problem. No worries at all. I wonder what you meant for a moment there, but yeah, I get it now. Yeah. No, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks very much. Appreciate that.
No worries. I hope it helps.
Thanks, Dan.
You are absolutely welcome. With that said, thank you to everybody that's watching in the background. Thank you to everybody that's been involved in the comments. Always appreciated. You're always welcome. For those of you who watch but don't get involved, please think about getting involved in the comments. It's great to meet new people and make new friends on here, and the majority of us are all for it. Do you know what I mean? So please feel free to get involved in the discussion a little bit more if you can. With that said, I'm out of here. I'm going to pop over to Cats briefly.
Dan, just got one more thing to show you.
Go on.
Pardon me.
If you can read this, you're in fart range. Very good. Very, very good.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, no problem. Give us a shout tomorrow. Make it late afternoon, just to make sure I'm awake. But yeah, I've got you. To be honest, it was somebody else. I think it was it you that was it Tiff? Was it you that said he's left his bag there, or was it someone else?
It's me.
Yeah, it was. Thank Tiff for saying that you'd left your bag there, because I didn't realise, but I picked it up.
Just call her Titty.
Tiff. Tiff. But I did pick it up and carried it around for the rest of the night and brought it back here with us. So yeah, got that for you. Give that back to you when we can. Good night, everybody. God.
Night, Dan.
Night.
I'm sorry you didn't get in Medway.
That's all right. I only meant to nip in for a bit anyway.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see. I'm sorry I'm cutting it short. It's been. It's been.
I want to go to bed anyway.
Bit of a bad
final note. Medway and Janine have been talking in the StreamYard chat, and Neil Peart, best drummer in the world.
We all like Neil Peart. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Best,
fantastic.
Deeply humble, hard-working man.
Yeah.
Very humble.
Good night, Claire. Good night, Toria. Again, I hope I've not offended you. I mean, to be fair, I don't really care if I offend people, but that's if I go out of my way to offend them. I haven't gone out of my way to offend you. I just wanted to be fair and answer your comments. And
so if you have been offended, it's deliberate.
Yeah. unless I say otherwise.
Right. Well, one last note. If Tori is offended, I don't know if because I'm not modded up. And the last thing I want to see is a bloody spanner because I'm a plumber in my downtime. But there's a trigonometry podcast with Rosa Dawn. She's got a YouTube channel. Trans activists don't speak for me. And she also did a podcast with Blair White and Italian-American lesbian. I don't know. Just go over to Rosa Dawn's channel, Toria, and have a look at that. Or trigonometry podcast. Trans activists don't speak for me.
I'll just go over to Blair White's channel.
Well, we all know why.
Well, what sense is that on you, Sophie? You won't.
My last words. Purple pout. Purple pout.
It's fucking blue, you bastard. Anyway. Good night, everybody. Thanks again. And I might be seeing you over on Cat's channel shortly for a week.
See you over there.
So
take care, guys.